If I could have the council and the city attorney please go to the dais. We're about to start the meeting. I will go ahead and call to order the meeting for Tuesday, August 11th. Madam Clerk, if you can please call the roll.
Councilmember Chavez is not present at the moment. Deputy Mayor Fernandez?
Here.
Councilmember Inzunza?
I'm here.
Councilmember Preciado is absent this evening, and Mayor McCann.
Present. And what I'd like to do is somebody very special to the city. We're going to be recognizing him, but Rick, if you could come up and lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, that would be great.
I'm not going to speak.
Just right there at the microphone.
Whoa. Ready? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
And now we're going to do something special. Don't sit down yet, Rick. We are going to be honoring you with a proclamation for over 32 years of service to this beloved hometown of yours, Chula Vista.
Thank you.
And before I say the proclamation, I just want to talk specifically about Rick. He is one of the most diligent quality workers we've ever seen. He is amazing. I've known him since the 90s when I was on the Planning Commission, and then through becoming a council member in 2002. And it was always amazing because if we're having a meeting or something was happening, we're doing a flag raising or something like that, if there was an issue or if there was a problem, everybody go get Rick. Go get Rick.
That's right.
And what would happen is Rick would come and he would solve the problem. He was such a valuable team player and he never asked for anything. He was just so humble, but he was really the backbone of our community in our city for so long. And I'm incredibly happy for you, but I'm also bittersweet sad because I just think you have been such a great employee. So go ahead and give him another round of applause. And then we're going to go ahead and read the official proclamation. Whereas Richard Rick Rubel began his career with the city of Chula Vista as a recreation leader in March of 1994 and advanced to his role as custodian in 2006 in the Public Works Department. And whereas Rick was assigned to work in the Civic Center complex, where he consistently demonstrated professionalism and dedication supporting special projects, flag raising ceremonies, assisting with community events, and ensuring city facilities were prepared and maintained for city council meetings. Whereas Rick leaves behind a legacy of dedication, reliability, public service, his attentiveness, positive spirit, and unwavering commitment have earned the respect and appreciation of his colleagues throughout Public Works Department. And whereas Rick's compassion and sense of responsibility extended beyond the workplace, he has devoted himself to caring for his parents and exemplified the qualities of a loving son. Rick enjoys skateboarding and takes great pride in being a lifelong resident of the city of Chula Vista, reflecting his deep connection to the community. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that I, John McCann, 41st Mayor of the City of Chula Vista, along with the City Council and the citizens of Chula Vista, do hereby proclaim August 11th, 2026 as Richard Rick Rubel Day in recognition of his 32 years of dedicated service to the citizens of Chula Vista. Please give him some honor.
No, he's our mascot. Yeah.
Rick, would you like to say a couple words?
Yes, I'm very appreciated. I was a kid skateboarding when I was a kid out here before the remodel in 2006. I always wanted to be a city employee. And then, yeah, I lived Parkway and Broadway. I went to Vista Square Elementary School, Chula Vista Junior High, Chula Vista High School, class of 91, Donnie Edwards, Mara Lopez, yes. And then I went to Southwestern College, so I lived there all my life. And like John said, I took care of my parents, my grandmas, they're all passed away. They're all looking at me right now. But yeah, I've always wanted to be with Chula Vista, yeah. I'm very appreciative with everybody.
Rick, again, we are just so thankful on everything you've done, and you've helped so many people throughout your career here, and we just want to exemplify the great dedication you've had. But this is your home, and you're always welcome here, and please stay in touch. Thank you, Rick.
I'll be around. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, and now we're going to go ahead and move on to the consent calendar. Do we have any items to be pulled for the consent calendar? What was that? Okay, I did not know that. Okay. Let's come on down, Rick. We'll take a picture with you.
Note here. She tried to give you the note. It says City Hall Selfie Day, so we're going to invite all
Does the
city
family
staff
want to
in.
come in? Come on. Get it. Get it.
Can I have all city staff come down for the picture?
Let me take a picture. How long? I know. You have to move back. Oh, wow. Okay.
You guys have to get in closer. Somebody, or David Fred, kids way. Can we have some down here? Some down here. We can't fit all of you in there. Gotta be down here. All the way from where the police officer is. All the way over here. All the way in. I know. Wait. Thank you. Sure. Okay, now everyone wait. It's City Hall Selfie Day, so the people taking the pictures are going to turn around and look this way. Here we go.
Let's give me that too.
Thank you.
Wait, I want
want one. I want one. Oh, we're still doing it? All right. No one takes pictures of the talent. Here we go. Wait, I want one more, guys. One more. I didn't get one, a proper one. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. Beautiful. Thank you.
Okay. Good job. Thank you. Where's Rick? Oh, thank you. Thank you. Rick is awesome.
So awesome. We were.
All right.
Appreciate you. I really appreciate it. You've been such a star.
It looks like Jade.
Thank you. What district do you live in? Huh? What district do you live in? District 2.
Okay, if I can have the rest of the council return to the dais. And I'm going to go ahead and make the announcement for that this will contain a housing authority meeting also. Each council member will receive $50 for their attendance at the housing authority meeting being held simultaneously with the council meeting today. And I also will receive $50. Thank you very much. Okay. So we have an item that is time certain at 6 o'clock. So what we'll do is we are going to go ahead and then move to the action items. And we will go ahead and consider the resolution amending the council polity installation of pedestrian crosswalks. Madam City Manager, if you can call the staff to provide the presentation.
Mr. Mayor, if I may, would the council like to consider the consent calendar before we move on to action, or will that be placed behind action?
Oh, you know what? You're right. I thought we were doing that, and then we got the selfie request.
Motion approved.
So I have a motion and a second. Do we have a second? We have a motion and a second to approve the consent calendar.
Thank
Madam
you.
Clerk, if you could please read the text.
Yes, and if I may, before that, we have two public speakers on the consent calendar items, if you'd like me to proceed with calling them.
Yes, please.
The first speaker is John Acosta, followed by Angelica Martinez.
Once again, 5.5, I'm really concerned in anything that has to do with finances. You know, I have spoken to the, I actually mentioned to the city manager to make sure that any invoice submitted by Insunza to double check, triple check, and double check, make sure that everything he doesn't overspend. He makes sure that he doesn't abuse the power what he has as a credit card. Also to limit and make sure, because I do not trust him. Remember what happened with the phone bill. He didn't pay the phone bill. You know. Also, you know, it's a very shady. I don't trust him. I don't know about his finances. You know how he was able to afford the new car and a trip to Paris. And I asked city attorney to investigate that. And speaking of the investigation. City Attorney, I would like to ask you whatever happened about the domestic violence or
Mr. Acosta, this is an opportunity for you to inquire about the consent agenda or provide public comment on the consent agenda. I think please relate your comments to the consent agenda.
Okay. Like I said before, make sure the city manager checks, double checks, and triple check any invoice submitted, because it's the financial report, because they're crying about money, but then again, they're overspending themselves. And obviously, I mean, Sunsa does not know how to handle his finances. So therefore, make sure, double check on his finances. We don't want to be, we want to investigate where he's receiving the money, who's paying, and how much. That's transparency, and we'll talk about transparency later on. So finance, anything that Sunsa can submit, double check.
Speaker is Angelica Martinez.
Is this on 5.3 or 5.6?
This is the consent calendar, so any item on the consent calendar you can have speak on.
I'm going to speak on 2 items. Can I speak on both of them?
Yes, but unfortunately, you only have 3 minutes, so you have to share that time between the 2 items.
Okay, good evening, Mayor and council members. My name is Angelica Martinez, and I'm a resident of District 2. I'm speaking on 5.3 regarding Councilmember Preciado's requested excused absence. As a constituent, I'm concerned about Councilmember Preciado's absence tonight and about whether District 2 is receiving the consistent representation it deserves. A few weeks ago, I watched Councilmember Preciado cry from this dais while speaking about the pressures and personal sacrifices associated with serving on the City Council. What I witnessed was concerning and alarming to me as one of the residents he represents. And now tonight, we're being asked to excuse his absence. At this point, we have to ask whether the demands of this position are simply becoming too much. If Councilmember Preciado needs time to address his personal well-being or health, then I sincerely believe District 2 cannot be expected to go without the representation it deserves. About sitting on this dais on Tuesday, leadership requires being present in the community. When residents call homelessness, deterioration of neighborhoods, infrastructure, or other problems, we need a representative who has the availability to go into the neighborhoods, see the problems firsthand, meet with residents, and work towards solutions. District 2 needs leadership that is present. District 2 needs leadership that is accessible. And District 2 needs someone who has the capacity and availability to handle the daily responsibilities that come with this office. Tonight, important decisions are being made about housing, homelessness, pedestrian safety, and other city policies. District 2 deserves to have its elected representative present for these decisions. This isn't about personalities. This is about representation. If someone's professional, personal, or other responsibilities prevent them from consistently fulfilling the demands of elected office, then I believe we have every right as constituents to question whether District 2 is getting the representation we were promised. Our community deserves leadership that shows up not only when it's convenient, but when the job requires it. Will I have time for 5.6 later?
You have
Okay.
about a half a minute to talk about 5.6
So
right
I've
now.
had the opportunity to speak with many individuals experiencing homelessness in my district, and one thing I continue to see is the people struggling with substance abuse, drug addiction, and mental health challenges. So my question regarding the $500,000 for homelessness prevention services is, where exactly is this money going, and what services are we actually providing? How much of this funding will help individuals struggling with substance use disorders and mental health conditions? Are we connecting people with treatment, rehabilitation, counseling, employment assistance, and other services that can help them become stable and self-sufficient? I'm also concerned about what we're doing before someone becomes homeless. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
That concludes the speakers on the consent calendar. If you would like me to proceed with reading the headings.
Yes, please.
Item 5.1 is approval of the minutes dated July 14th, 21st, and 28th, 2026. Item 5.2 is approval of a motion to read only the title and waive the reading of the text of all resolutions and ordinances at this meeting. Item 5.3 is approval of an excused absence for Councilmember Preciado from the August 11th, 2026 City Council meeting. Item 5.4 is ordinance of the City of Chula Vista readopting the Chula Vista Gaming Plan as an appendix to the Chula Vista Municipal Code, Chapter 5.20, Gambling, second reading and adoption. Item 5.5 is receipt of the investment report for the quarter ending on June 30, 2026. And item 5.6 is resolution of the Chula Vista Housing Authority acting in its capacity as the housing successor to the redevelopment agency of the City of Chula Vista, authorizing the use of fiscal year 2026-27 low and moderate income housing asset funds for administrative costs and the implementing funds, therefore, 4/5 vote required. End of consent.
Please vote. Pass with 4-0 with being absent. 8.3, the revision of adopting for special events. City Manager, if we can please.
Sorry, Mr. Mayor, you had previously called for 8.2, the sidewalk, or the, sorry, pedestrian crosswalks. Which item would you like to hear?
Oh, let's do 8.2 first.
Thank you.
Great, thank you. Good afternoon, Honorable Mayor and Council members. My name is Luis Shar. I'm the Director for Engineering Capital Projects Department. With me today is Paul Oberbauer, who's the Principal Engineer for Engineering Department. So today we're going to present to your considerations for the amendment of the existing council policy that governs pedestrian crosswalks. The existing council policy was adopted in the 1970s. As you can imagine, the use of the right-of-way, the density, in addition to that are being used today for pedestrian crosswalks. By approving this amendment, it will allow us to officially update the policy and create consistency in our right-of-way, which will also improve safety. So I'm going to hand it over to Paul now. He's going to go through a short presentation, and we'll be here to answer any questions afterwards. Thank you.
Thank you, Luis. Good evening, Honorable Mayor and Council members. As Luis noted, there have been significant changes to the field of traffic engineering since the existing policy was adopted, and the city itself has nearly doubled in size and tripled in population. So the existing policy sets criteria for installing marked crosswalks where they don't currently exist at uncontrolled crossings, and uncontrolled crossings are where there are no stop signs or traffic signals. And this existing policy was developed at a time when efficient conveyance of vehicles was really the top priority. So the proposed policy builds on the existing policy by following a three-step process in which there's an initial basic screening criteria that considers pedestrian demand, traffic volume, and site characteristics. It helps us determine whether we need to study the location further. Then we move on to the point system evaluation, which considers additional criteria and studies the screening criteria in greater detail. And then lastly, we move on to the crosswalk treatment evaluation. This is a new addition relative to the existing policy that suggests enhancements based on traffic volume, speed, and road width. So the key updates, in addition to keeping the same policy to rely on engineering judgment as the existing policy had, we have halved the existing screening threshold in this proposed policy so that only 5 pedestrians would need to be observed crossing a location versus what's 10 in the current policy. It also modestly reduces the points threshold, so effectively lowering the bar where a crosswalk would be considered warranted by approximately 9 percentage points relative to the existing. And so this is to consider latent demand, which would be pedestrians that would have crossed at that location had a crosswalk been there. And then, as I mentioned, it adds the crosswalk treatment evaluation. So these are a few examples of the enhancements that could be considered as part of the third step of the existing policy. These are standard flashing beacons, so a pedestrian would press the button, activate flashing beacons that alternate in a wigwag pattern to alert drivers to the presence of a pedestrian. Very similar, this is the rectangular rapid flashing beacons, so it operates very similar to the standard flashing beacons, except there's a sort of a strobe effect flashing beacons, which enhances visibility to the drivers. And then lastly, we have pedestrian hybrid beacons. These used to be called Hawks. This is reserved for the busiest crossings, and it effectively stops traffic. So when the pedestrian presses a button, it activates a yellow light, which switches red, and that stops the traffic, and the pedestrians get the walking person signal. Then as they get the countdown with the flashing hand, this red light flashes for the vehicles to treat the crossing as a sort of a stop sign. Last, the safety, and it highlights guidance that in recent regulations by at the state level at the California Vehicle Code as well. It highlights two key crosswalk requirements that operators of electric scooters and class 3 electric bikes. So those are ones that have pedal assist up to 28 miles per hour. They must dismount and walk at crosswalks. And operators of all types of bikes, the City Council adopt a resolution to revise City Council Policy Number 576, crosswalks. Thank you. That concludes the presentation.
I really appreciate the presentation. One of the things I appreciate about this is updating the current rules because we want to make sure that we're in line with the rules, but also it lowers the threshold because I know many times we would put in requests for sidewalks and it seemed pretty consistent and common sense that the sidewalk should be there for the safety of our residents. But unfortunately, because of the rules and everything we had, it would just be shy of being able to get that. So I think this hopefully will allow us to be able to put in sidewalks or put in crosswalks where we can make sure that they will community. Madam Clerk, do we have any speakers on this item?
Yes, we do have two speakers on this item, if you'd like us to proceed with calling them.
Yes, please.
The first in-person speaker is John Acosta, followed by a remote speaker, Robert.
Like I said before, everything looks wonderful on paper, but in reality, it does not work. Simply right here on 4th Avenue and Davidson, right here in the corner, flashing light and people press it, but nobody stops. Nobody stops, and you have to be enforcing that jaywalking is all over. So therefore, if that, it's wonderful if it worked, and if people were slowed down, but right here in the corner, it doesn't work. It does not work. Right here on 3rd Avenue, it does not work. So therefore, it looks wonderful. An idea, great. If you're having troubles controlling or children with e-bikes, you're not going to dismount. They're not going to dismount. So therefore, like I say, it looks great on paper, but in reality, it will not work. Throw set on your eyes, but you need to wake up and really look at other sources to how to fix the problem. The problem is a lot of people jaywalk. A lot of kids on bikes on the sidewalk. They don't dismount, they don't dismount, and the flashing lights do not. All you have to do to prove what I'm saying, just go right here in the corner and press the button. See, why? Because I tried this more just to make sure I knew what I was talking about. That one on 3rd Avenue, it does not work. People do not stop, do not slow down. So you have to do something. Maybe somebody start giving tickets. Start giving tickets, maybe perhaps that's the only way you could be able to enforce it. But right now, everything looks good on paper if it was to work. But it will not work. You're wasting your time, you're wasting your money, and in reality, it will not work unless somebody goes up there and enforce it. If you can have little kids on e-bikes, you're not going to get this to dismount and walk on the street, on the sidewalk, or dismount to cross the street. It does not work. Wake up.
The remote speaker on this item is Robert. Robert, you've been unmuted and you can proceed with your comments.
Thank you. Hello? Everybody hear me? Yeah?
Yes, please go ahead.
No? Okay. Hello, City Council. How are you guys doing today? Hello, everybody in the audience. Yeah, I definitely jumped when I heard you're going to tell people to get off their bicycles across the road when they could just ride in the road without getting off of it, right? Or is it when people are riding in the road, they have to get off their bicycle to cross the crosswalk and then they can get back on their way? Like you guys have a problem, so you guys are making a problem, right? Like that's some sort of dialect that's like government speak. You guys do everything to create the problem so that way you can ticket us to then say it's our fault that you created the problem. You know, like if it was reasonable or something, I would understand. I'm looking through the paperwork though, and I see like a policy, updated version, and then it says pedestrians must only cross roadways in business districts at crosswalks. So when they were celebrating for the World Cup, all those pedestrians didn't even get a ticket. I mean, you guys don't even enforce the rules anyways, right? You guys just let everybody run amok. We'll pepperball them once we've had enough and no one responds, right? So now the intern is to just ticket us and create all these rules and definitions. And my favorite one is prohibits parking electric mobility vehicles within 15 feet of marked or crosswalks. So if you park your bike at one of the signs and you lock it up for safety and it's near a crosswalk, now we'll have a municipal code to take your money. It's great, isn't it? I mean, you guys are doing the Lord's work by continue doing it. I mean, you know, how many of you council members even read this thing? No one down crosswalks, right? Like, no one's against it. What we seem to be against is the fact that you want to make everything a crime that you then get to ticket us for if we don't follow all the rules and regulations. Hey, Cesar Fernandez, remember that time you jaywalked across the street? You know, I didn't record it, remember? But I remember a bunch of officers running across the street at
You have
coffee
30
with a cop
seconds
event.
remaining.
You know, I mean, what are we going to, are they going to ticket themselves? I mean, if they don't do it, why should we do it? Right? Like, you have to look at yourselves, people, and go, are we actually going to follow these rules? Or are we just making up stuff just to make everybody's life more difficult? I mean, you just want everybody's life to be difficult, right? Am I muted? We don't have a problem with crosswalks.
Thank you, Robert.
You know.
Additional in-person speaker,
Call them.
Ruben Rod.
Come up fast.
Also, thank you everybody for allowing me to speak the last minute. I just seen the opportunity that you presented, and I have to be honest to you sincerely. My mother lives right across the street from that school that you're using in Carla, and the crosswalk that we have there, it's a very situational where we have a lot of cluster with vehicles picking up their students or their kids from school, and there's various traffic, and I even seen when 911 is called to expedite it, it's just a block in that system that needs to be really engineered to look carefully. And I say that's careful because I see that every time that school hours is very tremendous. And then we have students that are in that school that do not obey the law. So we could put the pressure on the public, but we need to put the pressure on the kids too and the parents, allow them to use the crosswalk correctly at a timely manner to avoid any incidents in that area. Then you have the park area, which is the Hilltop Park. Then you have the one to the side, which is a vacant lot. And so we need to engineer that carefully so there could be a pickup zone for the parents to pick up the vehicles to avoid children's crossing the street and be right close to the school to be able to pick up as a pickup station, if you guys want to call it, and avoid too much of the crosswalk to avoid the congestion in the area. So I wanted to share that with the team, that we need to really look at that very carefully because it is a block system. And so I know that you're trying to engineer to make it safe for the students and safe for the public, but then we got to find another way to how to keep the traffic moving. So when we have the 911 calls, they're able to expedite and not take a different route through the other blocks, other areas. I seen this opportunity. I wanted to bring that across. I'm glad I was able to come to be here to incorporate some suggestions to find other ways to keep it close within the school so we don't disturb the public and the emergency. Thank you, sir. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.
That concludes the comments on this item.
Thank you very much. I'm going to go ahead and just say that I really, again, want to thank staff for doing this. I think it is going to be able, it's one of our higher, as we know, when you're on the street and a $7 pound car, even if they bump you going 20 or 30 miles per hour, it can be pretty devastating. And so we need to make sure that we have walkable communities, and these crosswalks will be able to help that. Before I turn it over to the other council members, I'm going to go ahead and make the motion because this was a very important item for me. So I'm going to make a motion to approve item 8.2. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you very much. And now I will member from District 3.
I want to thank city staff for the diligent work and putting us in compliance and ensuring that everything is up to date and giving the ability for our city to take a fresh look in how we're implementing these policies. And I also want to thank you. We had a resident die a few years ago, maybe about 1 or 2 years before I was elected. I think it was in 2021 at a crosswalk near Olympian High School by Wolf Canyon Elementary. And city staff did an analysis and they engineered it, and they put up a crosswalk, very safe. And all your citizens, we also, the timing at La Pasea, if anyone knows on East Palomar, where the Sharp Hospital is in front of Heritage, La Pasea Senior Citizen Facility where my abuelita lives, or bueno, mi tía. She's kind of raised me as a grandson, but my tía lives there as well. And there's over 350 senior citizen residents there, and they want to enjoy the duck pond across the street. And so city staff worked immediately and extended the crosswalk to about 15 seconds, and we went out there and tested it all together. Those small things make a difference in the livability of the residents in Chula Vista, and that's we're here to listen and implement changes, and on top of being in compliance with a variety of issues and how we serve the city. So I really work. I yield back.
The member from District 4.
All right, thank you for the presentation, Mr. Shar. I had a question about the basic screening and the point system. So crosswalks versus stop signs, does this match the criteria for placing stop signs as opposed to crosswalks, or it doesn't change that at all?
It does not affect stop sign criteria. That's a separate council policy, actually, that we are reviewing right now.
Does it consider the same screening process and point system?
It's similar.
Okay.
It's not identical, though.
Okay. And I do ask because there are a lot of just walks in front of schools. Most of the requests I get for lit crosswalks are from schools. Almost all of them in District 4 want them that don't have them already. They all want one like Rice or like Lauterbach, right? So Harborside, Montgomery, and just a couple of days ago, Castle Park, right? But that Castle Park crosswalk is like really, really clear side of the street to the school. They're like, we want something here just because, again, somebody mentioned the sheer volume during pickup and drop off. And so I would just highlight that for staff just to go around and look at the schools during drop off and pickup times. And I think that's really it for that. I can't have a little fun, though, and say, yes, I did jaywalk that day, but as of 2023, jaywalking is conditionally legal in the state of California as of 2023, the Freedom to Walk Act. So just wanted to highlight that for everybody. So long as you are kind of in the middle of the block and you don't just jump out in front of a car, you're being safe, you're allowed to cross that street. All right, thank you very much.
Well, I'm happy you were able to cross safely. I will now recognize the member from District 1.
I had a similar question to Councilmember Fernandez. So walking the District 1, specifically between Shore Drive and Eastlake Drive, there's a lot to have a crosswalk, but, I want to talk a little bit more, maybe not in this specific item, but maybe in the future. I've been told that we couldn't put a stop sign or a crosswalk there because there already exists some crosswalks less than, I think, 100 feet from where we want it. So I'm curious to see that moving forward. What are the requirements? How, if it's needed, if it's deadly needed, because I saw a pregnant woman pushing a stroller running across the street, and just cars are turning. You know this around the lake, especially Eastlake Drive is very transited, so people just grab speed and then they wait until the other corner to stop, right? So that's something that I'm very interested. I'm very interested in this item, especially because we have so many requirements of crosswalks to keep our children and our families safe, specifically in District 1. So I'll be knocking on your door to see what we can do specifically for that area. Thank you.
There are no more speakers from the dais. We have a motion and a second. Madam Clerk, if you can please read the heading.
Item 8.2 is resolution of the City Council of the City of Chula Vista amending City Council Policy 576-16, installation of pedestrian crosswalks.
Please vote. Item carries unanimously with Councilmember Preciado absent. We'll now go to item number 6, and we will take on a couple public comments. Madam Clerk, how many public speakers do we have for public comments right now?
We have 9 people registered to speak.
Okay. We'll see where we're at because we have a time certain at 6 o'clock. We want to make sure we're keeping on schedule.
Will do. We will start with the in-person speakers. The first speaker is John Acosta, followed by Margarita Garcia Morera, followed by Mark Liwak.
I'm asking the suicide regarding the interview about the event incident that got suspended. And then they suspended the place on leave, and then they never, ever rehire. Also, he talked to him about the phone bill. The phone bill he did not pay close to $10,000. What about, did you talk to him? You don't belong to a military family, but you belong to the gay, stripper gay family, or the slumlord family. Did you talk to them about it? Or did you just forgot about it? One of the things I'm really concerned of, the thing that you go around saying, always saying things that I don't believe is true. Simply always talking about how you, and always looking for yourself. One of the things that, when you talk to, I keep asking you, what's the price of a council member? The council member. And one of the reasons I'm asking you, when you discuss when you were talking to the union regarding the trash, did you also talk to them about the price of a council member? It could be yes or no, or you forgot, or you're barely talking about it. So one more time, I'm asking you, what's the price of a council member? Simply because I put in an item, agenda item to be considered, and it was rejected. But again, the union put in an action item, Cesar approved it. So I'm not quite sure how much does it take for any regular public city citizen, to, a resident from Chula Vista, a voter, to include an item on the agenda. Like I said, I wanted, it's on the website, you all have a copy, and I wanted to put in the agenda, and for what I understand, it has to be approved by the council members. I also included the mayor, and I included the city attorney, but it got rejected. So, because, I know for a fact, because according to the San Diego Times, Cesar approved the item, that the item about raising their fees and their salary. Cesar approved it. So my question is, why did Cesar approve the agenda item and nobody approved mine? How much does it take to get something on the agenda? Or one more time, how much does it cost for a council member? What's the price in Sunsa? Thank you.
The next speaker is Margarita Garcia Morera, followed by Mark Liwag, followed by Art Arvizu. Margarita Garcia Morera. Not seeing Margarita, we'll move to Mark Liwag.
Thank you. Honorable Mayor and Council, I'm here as president of the Chula Vista Men's Golf Club with concerns with the golf course, and in particular, the number one item I think that is of utmost important is the drainage of the golf course and the whole park area. The past few years, there's been flooding. A lot of people have been thinking that's just because of climate change, that we've had some torrential more rain than we've ever had before. And I can tell you, being a member of the golf course for 47 years, that's not the case. The real issue is that the drainage of the river is not meeting the standards that it should, at least 1%. It's less than, it's 0.4% from Central Avenue down all the way down to Plaza Bonita Road through there. We have only 14 meters over 3,700 meters. So what we get was flooding. Can I show anything? Is that possible?
The camera is not operational.
Okay. So I had some pictures here of the water standing on the golf course. It's creating environmental issues with mosquito breeding and that type of stuff. It's just stagnant water. Can't run past Willow Street Bridge. I have some pictures here also where that whole area is and where the measurements came from, basically off of Google Earth. So it's not really hard to go figure out. The big concern is the current operator doesn't believe he has any responsibility to do anything with it, nor his hands are tied. He's been told, I can't touch it for environmental reasons. And I don't understand that. The other golf courses do it all the time. It was done in the past, so there was some maintenance. The big issue, though, still is on the other side of Willow Street Bridge, because we actually have a high point over there, which is in the county, which we really need the county's assistance to make this work, or else we're going to have flooding again, which went last year all the way into Roar Park, destroyed some of the model train lines, destroyed another lady's fence again, and it's going to happen again. And it doesn't take torrential rains. They're not torrential rains. They're just the normal rains because there's nowhere for the water to flow. So the reason I find it kind of funny, because I saw an article in the paper, the city Santee received $7.2 million to clear a riverbed for fire hazards. They got $7.2 million to go work on the San Diego River. So if they can work on the San Diego River and actually get paid to do it, why can't we get this thing fixed? That's my only question. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Liag. And we will go ahead and make a referral to the city manager to look in drainage, hopefully moving it from 0.4%. I'm going to from District 1.
I was just going to say the same thing. It was devastating. I know a lot of horse owners were also, worried because the flood was almost covering their horses. I went out there and helped them out. I have a lot of friends that were affected and houses, and it's something we have to do as a city. My district collides with Bonita, and we most definitely have to take an urgent matter into this. So we need to prevent that this never happens again, because it's starting to affect everyone in the region, and we need to help the Supervisor Paloma Aguirre, and their team work together as a city and county to address it immediately. So I will be following up.
Madam Clerk, with the time, let's take one more speaker under public comments, and then we'll take a quick break, and then we'll make sure that we're doing the item for the East Lakes at the time certain at 5. Thank you.
The next speaker under public comment is Art Arvisu.
Thank you, honorable council members and Mayor McCann, for hearing me on this. It's kind of a delayed response, but I just want to speak in full support of the city purchasing the Vogue Theater and being a champion for the arts, hopefully someday, with economic development efforts. I also want to appreciate the city cast way of explaining projects. It just started, but it really should have started years ago. And I appreciate good governance. At the Harborside Park several years ago, that was a nightmare. And now, like, they have roller skating there. I'm too old for roller skating, but what 180 degree.
You're never too old.
I don't want to bust my hip now, but for the city, I might. but anyway, I just appreciate those efforts. The up celebration here. I mean, that really put us on a higher plane. But that were fire. But a couple more things. There were 2 recent votes about the bike paths, and I like saying that on the west side of the 5 freeway, it's cyclist paradise. But on the east side of the 5, not as much. But F Street, I guess, might have bike path, real bike path, and maybe that could be extended east to west. There isn't much east to west. But anyway, I really appreciate 3rd Avenue being a focus. And, Vogue Theater, when it reopens, I'll be there the day it opens in full support. Thanks again.
Thank you, Art. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and take a quick recess so we can start exactly at 6 o'clock up there for the time certain for the East Lake self-storage item. Okay? Thank you. Thank you,
I never say something that we're going Yeah, you didn't read it? Well, I wanted to talk to valuation.
Thank you, everybody. We're about to restart, so if I could have the city attorney and all the council members return to the dais. Again, if I could have all the council members return to the dais so we can. Thank you very much. We are now restarting the meeting. Our next item is 7-1. This item is continued from the consolidated July 14th, 2026 regarding the Community Facilities District number 2097-2, Improvement Area C, Annexation number 14, and designation of Improvement Area D, Annexation number 1. And what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and open the public hearing right now, but I'm going to hand it over to staff. First, I want to thank the community for coming out. I know that you were able to give us a lot of good input, and I think our staff, as well as SDG&E and the owner, have gone ahead and hopefully mitigated a lot of the concerns that you have. And I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to our staff to be able to review that, and then we would love to hear from you and make sure that we're headed in the right direction. City Manager, if you can please, staff, give the presentation.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council members. Rebecca Bridgeford, Deputy Director with Development Services, and I'm here this evening with Roy Sapau, Director of Development Services and Deputy City Manager, and Ludwig Karuf, our BBK legal representation. This item is a continued public hearing regarding the annexation of East Lake Self-Storage Property into Community Facilities District 97-2. For the record, a corrected Resolution C was distributed on the dais. Tonight's proposed actions would annex the East Lake Self-Storage Property into existing Improvement Area C as Annexation number 14, establish a new Improvement Area D, and annex the property into that area as Annexation number 1 of CFD 97-2. The City Council opened the public hearing on July 14th and received public comments, including concerns from nearby residents regarding the project's proposed access to St. Germain Road. Council directed staff to work with the developer to determine whether that access could be removed and continued the public hearing to tonight's meeting. Since the July 14th meeting, staff and the developer have taken several steps to respond to Council's direction. The fire marshal reviewed the revised design and confirmed that the project does not require a secondary access at St. Germain Road. The developer has agreed to remove that access from the project. The developer also met with residents on July 20th to discuss their concerns. Revised plans were submitted to the city on August 4th, shown here. The plans remove the St. Germain Road connection and are currently undergoing review with the city's team. The following slides were presented on July 14th, including the project location. CFD 97-2 was established in 1998 to provide long-term funding for monitoring, maintenance, and operations of mitigation land within the Otay Ranch Open Space Preserve. Tonight's action, creating Improvement Area D, will add the opportunity for this project and future projects to annex wetland mitigation land into the CFD. As previously discussed, this project has had multiple stages, and as part of the final entitlements was required to provide mitigation. Should City Council approve tonight's action, will fulfill that requirement. If approved, the special taxes for both improvement areas will be issued only to the property owner to maintain the required habitat areas. This concludes staff's presentation. Recommendations are presented for the council's consideration on the slide above, and staff are available to answer any questions.
Thank you very much. So I have a couple questions, and I know this was one of those items that was actually approved several years ago. But again, there was never a actual entrance for the East Lake storage on St. Germain. It was only an emergency access prior, correct?
That is correct.
And but we've gone above and beyond, and the staff has done a great job working with the developer and SDG&E to basically eliminate that road, so there's even no question of not having, or basically eliminating that access of any vehicle traffic to the self-storage, correct?
There will be no access for the public.
Thank you. I will go recognize the member from District 1.
First of all, I want to thank staff, I want to thank the community, and I want to thank the developers for having such an open conversation, such a will to be part of the community and construct together and listening to the community. Roy, I saw some of the community members showed me a letter that was sent to their houses today, a couple days ago, where they said that this was going to raise their taxes. Is that correct? In any way?
Any of the actions tonight will not raise taxes to any member of the public other than the property developer and owner.
Gotcha. So I guess there's a lot of misinformation being sent to the community wrongfully. And I just wanted to address it. My office first received concerns from residents, and we addressed it immediately. And I want to thank staff. I want to thank the city manager, Roy. You've been excellent at putting together a time frame when this started. It was approved. It was actually approved way before I became a council member. But that's what we are here to help you have a better life in this district, in this city. And that's what I've been doing as a liaison between developers and the backs to be them, right? Tax the developers, not the community.
The tax or fee issued to the developer will cover the maintenance and operation for those mitigation lands, removing that burden from the city and the public.
So when it becomes a time to bring this to a motion of, I want to move this motion of approval, and I will wait my turn, but I'm happy that we have a revised plan where that exit in St. Germain is being taken out because it's unsafe for the family, for the community, for our children. And we heard our community, this is what it's about. We want you to come and tell us, this is unacceptable, how can we work together? And we got it done. So with that, Mr. Mayor, I yield back.
Thank you very much. Now what I'm going to do is continue with the public hearing. And Madam Clerk, if you can please call the first public speaker.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, we have 6 public speakers here in person, and we have 1 online. I'll begin by calling the in-person speakers. The first speaker is John Acosta, followed by Margarita Garcia Morera, followed by Joe Jenkins.
One of my concerns is when you first in your first phrase, I said there was a correction. The correction you pass it down to those people sitting in front of me. What about the residents? Did they receive the correction? So because if they think they're getting something, you correct it, they're not getting what they thought. So what I would suggest to you all to send the correction to the residents that live up there, let them read it, and then be informed, and then come back and vote for it. Because I know they're going to vote for it. But the people that are actually going to be affected, they would not know because minutes ago. So that's really unfair. There's no transparency on this. One of the things that you said that development pass it down to whoever by the but as you know, rent the property of the house. Who received the letter, the owner or the renter? So therefore, if you send a letter to whoever lives there, the owner does not know what's going on. So therefore, there's no transparency in there. So I think that before you all vote, because I know you guys are going to vote for it and you're going to approve it, but think about it. There's no transparency in this because the owner, that one actually is going to be affected, does not know about your correction and does not know if you send a letter to somebody who's renting. So let's have a little bit of transparency to resend the letter to the owner and let him know what's going to affect it. Make sure the owner knows what's going on, and also find out about the developers. Are they going to pass that cost to whoever buy the property? So there need to be more transparency, and that's one of the things that council members have a lot of problem on transparency. A lot of times they say things that is not really true. I don't trust, especially in suicide. I don't trust him.
Our next speaker is Margarita Garcia Morera, followed by Joe Jenkins, followed by Cynthia Garcia. Margarita Garcia Morera? Not seeing Margarita. Our next speaker, Joe Jenkins.
Opportunity to speak. My name is Joanne Jenkins, owner at 971 St. Germain Road. Home more than 30 years ago. We specifically chose the locale so our son could have good schools. We chose our lot on a quiet dead-end street on the corner of LaSalle Court so he could safely learn to ride his bike. He's grown now, of course, and he has many fond memories of the neighborhood. 5 years ago, we renovated our home so we could safely age in our due diligence. The City of Chula Vista understands and the storage facility offers such an opportunity. Fabulous news that St. Germain will not be needed as an access to the storage facility. And if I understood correctly, any access, public or emergency vehicles at all? No access, no, you're not allowed to speak?
Can you please address your questions and comments to the City Council?
Sure. So that is my understanding, And for that, I thank you. I thank you for doing your due diligence, not just for me, but for all the citizens of St. Germain. Thank you for helping us retain the security and the integrity of our neighborhood enclave. Thank you very much.
Our next speaker.
Madam Clerk, before you call the next speaker, I will go ahead and ask that question that she was asking. So there will be no access, correct?
There's no
Thank
from
you.
St. Germain.
Thank you for clarifying.
Speaker Cynthia Garcia by Scott Wyckoff, followed by Eric Herrera.
Afternoon. Thank you so much for the opportunity to be able to go ahead and speak with you. I understand that there were meetings that were held in our community so that we could go ahead and be able to voice. I appreciate you for being able to go ahead and do that for everyone. My concern is that the community meetings that were being held were only done with a few hours for people to be able to go ahead and prepare. So if we had busy schedules, we were definitely unable to go ahead and attend. I also wanted to go ahead and ask the question. That we were able to go ahead and speak about the pedestrians and the traffic and the concern that District 1 definitely goes ahead and has around the lake, how much traffic is going to be increased to be able to go ahead and go into the storage facility? Will there be a light that will be placed there? And was there a study that was done that showed what impact of traffic that we have now versus what the impact of the traffic will go ahead and be once the storage facility is there? Construction is also happening before 8 o'clock. There's been times where I drive by at 5:30 in the morning, there's already workers there. At 7 o'clock in the morning, I can definitely go ahead and hear their trucks backing up, doing whatever they have to go ahead and do. I was under the impression at 8 o'clock. I really wish that the project wasn't happening in our area, that it's been happening. I understand that during COVID, when none of us were in the meeting, because it was always said that it was a risk for everyone to be able to go out of our homes. So that was very unfortunate that we were not aware of what was going on or that we were able to go ahead and speak to what was happening in that area. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Our next speaker is Scott Wyckoff, followed by Eric Herrera, followed by David Sullivan.
Hi, my name is Scott Wyckoff, and I'm with UTEC Storage Partners, the applicant and owner of the East Lake Storage Project. Honorable Mayor and council members, we really appreciate the opportunity to be here to speak today. We purchased the property in the fall of last year, and we're involved in the original entitlements, but when we heard of the concerns from the neighbor for St. Germain, we were really grateful for the opportunity to work with the city and mobilize with them as well as with Councilmember Chavez and to meet with the neighbors, and really enjoyed meeting with the neighbors. We're excited to operate a business in the community and provide a service that we feel like we need. There seems to be some confusion. The only access off St. Germain is the existing SDG&E easement that's already there. There's already a gate and access for SDG&E. We're not gonna touch it. It's just gonna stay like it is. So to clarify that question for everyone, we're not touching it, it just stays the same. And yeah, and we hope you guys will be customers. We'll give you a discount. Say you came to the city council meeting. We'll work on that. But we're excited to be here. Construction hours, but we'll confirm with staff, very strict about the construction hours, these policies and regulations. And again, we just are grateful for the collaboration with city staff, Councilmember Chavez, and we feel like we made friends with a lot of the members of the community too, and are available to them, and they have our information. So, and we're available to answer any questions that come up if needed. Thank you.
Yeah, and I would just say I've received multiple concerns about the construction starting before 8 o'clock, if it's possible, instead of before, because people, a lot of times they'll be sleeping at 30.
I mean, all I can say here is a separate entity operating the business.
But if you can look into that, that'd be helpful, and we appreciate that.
Our next speaker is Eric Herrera Sullivan.
Mayor, how you doing, sir? Yes, everybody's go ahead. Everybody's like thrilled. Everybody's like up in arms, or they're very excited about the storage. But I assure you, we need better lights. Because personally, I live in Marquette Road, and every now and then we have the occasional high school teenager. We were all kids, and yeah, it's been a problem before COVID, during COVID. Concern. If you could please provide better lighting for the neighborhood, because say somebody gets ran over, having signs, I hope doesn't happen. A concern, very, safe, like a safety concern, because we all walk the dogs. We all walk the dogs or the family pets. We walk them late at night, and we have no lighting. We have very moderate lighting, or we don't have lighting that's very good. If you can please get some lighting, that's my concern. It's the lighting and the well-being of everybody in the neighborhood. And that's my concern. That's only my concern. I don't. Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next and final in-person speaker is David Sullivan.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, City Council. My name is David Sullivan. I've been in the St. Germain community for over close to 30 years now. A lot of our neighbors here have had our kids grow up together. It's a great neighborhood. We love our neighborhood. We see all our kids growing up together. It's a peaceful neighborhood. Our concern was the transparency. I know it was before you guys' times when you guys were on the council now, and Mr. Mayor, you weren't around when this decision was made for this storage unit to come on board. However, we would appreciate the transparency and the integrity of this council when things happen like this. I appreciate the mayor coming into our neighborhood to hear our voices, to hear our concerns, and we appreciated that. Our concern is also what kind of wall, or I hear there's going to be a fence instead of a wall built on the storage unit to prevent cars from coming in and out. We know changes can be made. We know deals can be broken. What guarantees do we have from this happening again? And what guarantees do we have that that fence won't come down and that it will be open to the public? We need to have that done in writing, or at least something done to make sure that that fence does not come down, period. That's our concerns. So thank you guys, appreciate it.
Thank you.
That concludes our in-person speakers. We will now move to our remote speakers. The first speaker is Robert. Robert, you are unmuted. Go ahead, proceed with your.
Great. I gotta say, the mayor invited me to his community outreach, and then Chavez doesn't tell anyone and schedules these secret meetings and swears she's inviting the community when she just I don't know if it's like a personal email list that you just send these invites to, but I don't ever get invited to cover your events, let alone the stuff you're doing for the community. So I don't know how anybody else knows about it. That would be my opinion to the outreach, at least from a news perspective, because I was invited to one but not invited to the other. And then I love how you post the pictures of it to say, oh, look what I did, even though I didn't tell anyone. Staff, in my opinion, I mean, they held in 2017, May 15th, they have an issues raised at Eastlake community meeting. And then I hear that Chavez held a community meeting with staff. Why wasn't there any comments made and then staff responses to it like you guys did in 2017? I mean, this is great transparency that you guys just don't do anymore. Was that your plan, to bring this paper in front of everybody and go, look how transparent we used to be instead of now? Because you could have included all the comments that were said at the last meeting about the issues to then show everybody the staff responses to it. But instead you made this, PDF document that you showed to everybody and then didn't include any transparency along with all the comments that you take, right? And so, it's good that some of the neighbors are happy with the decisions. I'm not a direct, I'm trying to stay true in the idea that if they have issues with it, I want to make sure that they're heard as many ways as they can. But I think the lack of the transparency in the comments to the staff responses and making it very easy for everybody to see, like the May 15th, 2017 document that you guys included with all this, but I don't think you included it last time. Maybe you did. So, I think there could be a lot done differently, right? Like, as council members, you should probably invite the media so that way we can hold you accountable, or else you guys are just going to say stuff at these secret meetings, and then no one's ever going to know what you said except for the people that are there. And if the people that are there are not pulling out their cameras and recording, I mean, you're kind of crazy. You gotta record everything so you have evidence to bring to us.
Robert, are you done?
Oh, you heard that? Did you hear that?
We did not. I think about 20 comments we did not hear. If you want to restate that.
Here, I'll restate it. Did you hear that time?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Robert. What we're going to do...
It's just a test for music, and I just wonder when I'm going to get muted because I'm still probably speaking to you right now.
Okay, thank you. And I'm going to ask if the owner of the property to answer the question that Mr. Stollerman brought up about the fence. Is that going to be a city fence? Is it going to be self-storage fence? What is going to be the barrier to make sure that people don't use that area as a shortcut? And I know, obviously, I'm sure the self-storage would probably want to make sure that they're securing their facility. Yes, yeah, come back up. We really appreciate your comments.
Like I said, the only access on St. Germain is going to be that existing gated access for SDG&E, and you physically won't be able to drive on our access road from there because it's going to come and then it goes uphill. The grading's not going to physically allow, and our site will be secure. That's a super important part for our customers and fence. So I'm not sure specifically what, I'm assuming it's can someone still like knock a fence down and drive through our property? The answer is no, unless they do it on the SDG&E easement that's already there. So physically, They won't be able to drive through our property. So.
Perfect. Thank you very much. What I'm going to do then is I'm going to conclude the public hearing. Madam Clerk, the public speakers have all spoken, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, and close the consolidated public hearing. I do have a request to speak from one.
Meeting that we had with the developers and the Fire Station 6, it was mentioned the amount of traffic you were considering. If it's allowed, I would love the developer to be able to comment on that because they do have, as well as the city, a study that to know the impact of the cars that are going to be circulating. Would you like to?
Sure. So what these are done is the Institute of Transportation Engineers have traffic counts for different uses: industrial, storage, multifamily housing. This property at one time, I think, was slated to be affordable housing or multifamily housing. So I don't have the exact numbers from the study that was done when this was originally done, but self-storage is the lowest traffic producer of any of those uses. Commercial, retail, office all have way more vehicle trips. Self-storage is very light. Even though it sounds like a really big facility, the vehicle trips generated by self-storage is significantly lower than other uses that would be on this property. And we are required to do improvements on East Lake Road to turn into the facility, so there won't be people doing U-turns around trying to get into the facility and kind of going into the neighborhood to do that.
And before you leave, we also mentioned about safety. A lot of the constituents, and my concern was also about the people that wanted to stay there, right? They brought their vehicle and they stayed there in the storage unit, but you have a concrete answer to that. I would love for you to voice it.
Sure. So security is the most important thing for us, for our customers, and if they can't trust that the site's safe and secure for them, it's mission critical for us. So we use fencing, we use access control, we use closed circuit TV and cameras. We use all those methods to just secure third-party management. People that are storing vehicles there's nowhere to plug them in, there's nowhere to do anything like that. They're not to be habitated, they have to be registered, they have to be operational. So none of those things are accessible for those uses. If any customers found to try to spend the night in our facility somewhere, they're kicked out immediately and their lease is revoked. So that is extremely important for us and our customers, the security, as much as it is for the members of the community.
And there was also a comment about sewage and water, and you very well mentioned that there was only how many staff on site and how many bathrooms?
There's only a couple employees on site at a time, and the restrooms are there for the customers to use, but again, it's not like a residence that has showers and bathrooms and just going like crazy. It's not like offices or commercial buildings. So our water usage is extremely minimal, and our sewer usage is very minimal.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Madam Clerk, would you please report the results of the public hearing?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Notices were notices were published in a newspaper of general circulation in accordance with applicable law. Notices at the conclusion of the public hearing, no protests or registered voters were posed for, nor were by registered voters residing in the boundaries of the existing territory included in Community Facilities District Number 97-2. As such, no majority protest exists. And for the record, there also were no e-comments received on this item.
Thank you very much. The City Council may now consider a motion to adopt Resolution A. Do I have a motion?
I want a motion to move.
And I will make the second. Madam Clerk, can you please read item A's text?
Item 7.1A is resolution of the City Council of the City of Chula Vista acting as the legislative body of Community Facilities District Number 97-2, Preserve Maintenance District, making certain determinations and authorizing submittal of levy of special taxes to the qualified electors of certain territory proposed to be annexed to Community Facilities District Number 97-2, Preserve Maintenance District, and Improvement Area C thereto.
Please vote. A passes with 4 members voting affirmative and member absent. The City Council may now consider. Do I have a motion? And I will make the second. Madam Clerk, if you can please read the heading.
Yes, and for the record, Mr. Mayor, a revised resolution for item 7.1C has been distributed on the dais. Copies are available here at the City Clerk's desk, and action will be with respect to the revised resolution C. So this is item 7.1C, resolution of the City Council of the City of Chula Vista acting as the legislative body of Community Facilities District Number 97-2, Preserve Maintenance District, making certain determinations and designating Improvement Area D of said community facilities, authorizing submittal of levy of special taxes to the qualified electors of certain territory proposed to be annexed to Community Facilities District Number 97-2, Preserve Maintenance District and Improvement Area D thereto, and establishing an appropriations limit therefore.
Please vote. Item is approved 4-0 with Member Preciado absent. With the adoption of the two resolutions, we may now proceed with conducting a special election for each annexation on the levy of a special taxes with regard to Improvement Area D, setting an appropriations limit within such an improvement area of the Community Facilities District. Madam Clerk, as to each annexations, has the property owners consented to holding the election this evening, and do you agree to hold each special election?
Thank you. Yes, the property owners have consented to conduct the election for each annexation this evening, and I agree to hold each special election.
At this time, I ask the city clerk to open the ballot and announce the results of election for the annexation of territory and levy of special taxes therein to Improvement Area C, annexation number 14 of Community Facilities District number 97-2.
The ballot for Community Facilities District number 97-2, Improvement Area C, Annex 10 passes unanimously.
At this time, I ask the city clerk to open the ballot and announce the results of the election for the designation Area D, number 1, to Community Facilities District number 97-2, levy of special taxes therein, and establishing an appropriate therefore.
The ballot for both propositions related to Community Facilities District number 97-2, designation of Improvement Area D, annexation number 1 passes unanimously.
Thank you. The council may now consider a motion to adopt Resolution B. Do I have a motion for Resolution B? Motion to move. I will second that. Madam Clerk, if you can please read the heading for Resolution B.
Item 7.1B is resolution of the City Council of the City of Chula Vista acting in its capacity as the legislative body of Community Facilities District number 97-2, Preserve Maintenance District, declaring the results of a special election in that territory designated as Community Facilities District number 97-2, Preserve Maintenance District, Improvement Area C, annexation number 14, and adding such territory to such improvement area.
Please vote. Item carries 4-0 with Councilmember Preciado absent. The council may now consider a motion to adopt Resolution D. Do I have a motion? And I will second that motion. Madam Clerk, if you're heading for Resolution D.
Item 7.1D is resolution of the City Council of the City of Chula Vista capacity as the legislative body of Community Facilities 7-2, Preserve Maintenance District, Chula Vista, County of San Diego, State of California, declaring the results of a special election and adding property to said Community Facilities District designated as Improvement Area D, annexation number 1 thereto, and taking other actions related thereto and establishing an appropriations limit therefore.
Please vote. Item carries 4-0 with Member Preciado absent. Now we may consider a motion to place Ordinance E on first reading. Do I have a motion? I will second that motion. Madam Clerk, if you can please read the Ordinance E.
Item 7.1E is an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Chula Vista acting as the legislative body of Community Facilities District Number 97-2, Preserve Maintenance District of the City of Chula Vista, County of San Diego, State of California, authorizing the levy of special taxes and Improvement Area D, Annexation Number 1 of such Community Facilities District. First reading.
Please vote. Ordinance E passes 4-0 with member Preciado absent. This concludes both the annexation proceedings to Community Facilities District Number 97-2. I just wanted to first thank the owner of the self-storage to be able to work with the community, being able to make sure that the was completely eliminated. And then I want to thank for their efforts in being able to work not just with the owner, but also in electric. But most importantly, I want to thank the community in the St. Clair, St. Germain area for your being willing to come communicate with us so we can make this a better project. As we know, originally, there was a land swapped with, ironically, I did not approve because I felt that that should have been parkland where it was, but it did pass. And originally it was going to be high-density apartments. I think there was, at the time it did get approved, we went ahead and listened to the community at that time to make sure that self-storage was a better option. And I know there are folks that still didn't want anything, but obviously it was private property, and I think that was a better option. But I really appreciate the couple of the different meetings that I was able to hold, and the members of the community opening up their houses to be able to listen. So I make progress. So thank you very, very much. We're now, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Is Madison wrapped? I'm sorry. Madison has not, has left the, you are unmuted if you'd like to proceed.
Yeah, thank you so much. Good evening, Council. I'm a member of the County Tobacco-Free Coalition and a youth leader. I'm here to discuss strengthening to counter the harms of toxic tobacco waste. That includes cigarette butt and disposable vape waste. These are sources of plastic, chemical, and lithium-ion battery pollution that drifts into storm drains, feeding our wetlands and the ocean. Each cigarette butt leaches a toxic cocktail of arsenic, nicotine, and heavy metals, polluting up to 500 liters of ocean water and harming marine life. Anticipated El Nino rains coming ahead will intensify this problem. It's estimated that countywide, roughly 8.6 million cigarette butts sit on public surfaces at any one time, and unfortunately, this waste is continuously replaced after cleanups. Organizations Youth Park and Beach, with a significant amount of butts, use vapes, and discarded nicotine pouches. The cleanup was inspired by a youth member who had studied the Great Pacific Garbage Patch. You may know that's an island of plastics, tobacco, and other waste products floating in the Pacific, and it's twice the size of Texas. On behalf of these students and future generations, I respectfully ask your help in reducing toxic tobacco waste through policies that prohibit the sale of flavored tobacco and disposable vapes, and prohibit tobacco use at public events and in multi-unit housing. I thank you for considering these policies to improve not only the environment, but health and safety of our community. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Robert. Robert, you are unmuted. Please proceed with your comments.
Well, thank you, City Clerk. I appreciate that. Yeah, the city is doing its thing. We had a Cultural Arts Commission. We had, we had board meetings, and some of the public showed up to some of the meetings. I think it was some of their first times, and encourage more people to go to meetings and get your voice heard or just learn what's going on, and then eventually you'll get comfortable enough where you're just going to want to say something because everything's relevant to everybody. So here's some relevant information to the city that I think is just ignorant. Lemon Fest is one of the city's biggest events, and yet it's still not on the city calendar. Like I've told people at the board meetings, I've told people at staff just walking around from the COP event, great event, Chula Vista PD, by the way. But it's just, it's sad to see that the city doesn't want to support one of the biggest events. I mean, the downtown district is funded, or as far as I can see, they have a public records request, so they have some sort of government funding, or else why would they do open public records? So, why is it that we're not collaborating with the downtown district to at least tell people to come to Chula Vista, because Chula Vista is the best city, and we want you here to come and celebrate with us. Instead we're going to spend $20,000 on a podcast, right? We're going to talk about that later. I'll save that one. But, this goes into everything. You guys are on the dais going, who gets the Lemon Fest flyer? Who gets it? Who has it? Please give it to me. And then you don't even make sure it's on the city calendar. Like it's a joke. And yes, Mayor, I've told you on your comment, I'm not just calling out the other council members who are claiming you're the creator of it. So, like I said, it's an equal transparency opportunity for me, right? Like I got no problem saying it how it is. But this is a reminder to the public that it's not on the calendar. Prioritize these events because they're not trying to promote our city, I guess. That's the attitude, right? That, it doesn't matter. Well, guess what? It does matter, and I'm showing you it matters because when you put things on the calendar, people show up because we have to plan our lives too, okay? And so, I just encourage everybody, if you haven't yet, hold your local official accountable. Let's do another music test. Can you hear it this time?
Thank you very much, Robert.
Mr. Mayor, we did have one of our speakers rejoin. I'll go ahead and call Becky Rapp.
Yes, please. Thank you.
Becky, you are unmuted. Please proceed.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. My name is Becky Rapp, and I come to ask this council to take a formal position, AB 2697. That opposition to our state Senate. AB 2697 would allow local jurisdictions to authorize drive-through sales at marijuana retailers. The bill is currently on the Senate floor and must be acted upon by August 31st. If it passes the Senate, it will move to the governor's desk. A drive-through is designed for convenience and speed. Drug someone to enter a highly regulated retail environment with armed. We should not be creating a system that makes purchase the will of a. I'm also concerned for young people. Contain minors can a vehicle if marijuana purchase is made through a drive-through. We have spent years trying to reduce youth exposure to marijuana and reinforce the message that marijuana is an intoxicating drug, not an ordinary consumer product. Chula Vista has an opportunity to send a clear message to Sacramento. We do not believe convenience should come before public safety. I respectfully ask the Council to formally oppose AB 2697, making it clear that Chula Vista does not support expanding marijuana sales into drive-through operations. Thank you.
We did have another speaker join. I'll go ahead and call Madison Rapp. Madison, you are unmuted. Please proceed with your comments.
Hi, thank you. Good evening. My name is Madison, and I'm a mother of 3 and a public health advocate. As summer comes to an end and children are getting ready to return to school, I want to bring attention to an issue that parents, teachers, and schools will be dealing with again this year: youth vaping. Nicotine addiction can begin quickly, and vaping has made it remarkably easy for young people to become addicted without fully understanding what they are putting into their bodies. In California, vaping remains the most commonly used tobacco product among youth. In the 2024 California Youth Tobacco Survey, 5% of high school students reported current vape use. And we know that what is technically prohibited from sale does not necessarily stay out of young people's hands. California has strengthened its flavored tobacco laws and enforcement, including allowing authorities to seize illegal flavored products. Yet the state continues to identify prohibited products in the marketplace. That should give us pause when we consider the broader commercial environment surrounding our children. Chula Vista already has cannabis storefronts in our community, and we have seen how difficult enforcement can be when illegal or prohibited products continue to find their way into circulation. The city will continue treating youth substance use as a public health priority, enforcement issue after a child is already addicted. We should be doing everything we can to reduce the visibility, availability, and normalization of addicted substances around young people, and to make sure our schools and families have the support they need to prevent use before it starts. Thank you.
Did we do good?
Mayor, that concludes our speakers on public comment.
Thank you very much. What we'll do is we're going to take a 15-minute break here. So we will be back and reopen the council meeting at 7:05 from that clock. If I could, can the city attorney return to the dais, please? I will go ahead and reconvene the city council meeting. We will now move on to item number 8.3. City manager.
Good evening. Just give us a moment to get the slide deck up. Good evening, Honorable Mayor and Council. We are before you this evening in response to direction provided at the July 28th council meeting regarding updates to the council policy on special events. For a brief policy timeline, in May 2015, this policy was created to codify existing administrative practices regarding classification of events as sponsored or endorsed by the city. Since adoption, the number and variety of events within the city of Chula Vista and that city participates in has continued to grow. In September 2025, council was presented with proposed revisions to this policy and provided feedback to staff. And at council's last meeting, staff was provided with policy direction and instructed to return to this meeting. As presented in the last meeting, the proposed policy includes 8 special events categories. These categories represent a spectrum of city involvement. For signature and civic events, the city has the highest level of ownership, funding, responsibility, and operational control. On the other end of the spectrum are externally produced events where the city's role may be limited to recognition, in-kind support, or permit approval. Additionally, this policy has been expanded to include general provisions along with roles and responsibilities. I would like to note that an updated policy was distributed to the dais that further clarifies that the behested payments noted in this policy is that of the FPPC and will now be submitted to finance when qualifying funds are deposited. Staff was also given direction regarding the state of the city. With this policy, the state of the city will be categorized as a civic event. As such, the mayor will retain authority over the speech content while the city manager's office will assume operational responsibility. For implementation, we are recommending adoption this evening with signature events transitioning to the city manager's office on October 1 after El Grito. And for that event, the city's manager's office will provide communications and day of event support with the mayor's office handling all other logistics. Staff will create an event protocol guidebook. This will allow for clear guidance for city-hosted events involving elected offices, ensure consistency across events, and preferred protocol for non-city events. And the city attorney's office will be sending guidance on council member hosted events and community meetings and mayor ceremonial duties. The recommended action for this evening is to adopt the revised council policy. Thank you.
And if I may, the council as well as the city manager received a confidential memo regarding the referral from Councilmember Preciado regarding the city resources for community meetings and council member hosted events. So you all should have that in your possession. My office is still working on the memo regarding the referral from the last meeting from the council related to an analysis of the mayor's duties under the charter and the mayor's ceremonial role or head of the city as for ceremonial purposes as noted in the charter. So that is still in the works and that should be completed by next week.
I did not receive anything from your office regarding Councilmember Preciado's request.
I will follow up, but you should have received that. It might have been after the meeting started, so you may not have seen that yet, Mr. Mayor.
Well, again, usually you like to be able to, when you're having an item on the agenda, be able to actually receive it prior to the meeting. So you're saying that you probably sent it to us after the meeting started?
Yeah, and use of resources for community meetings. So this is consistent with what the policy under consideration includes. So there shouldn't be any conflict or impact on your decision making. However, if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Well, I would have loved to be able to have some questions at this time when it's agendized, but I have not received the memo, and you're saying that you didn't send it to us till after the meeting started.
That is accurate, Mr. Mayor.
Okay. Is there any more presentation from the city manager?
No. Thank you.
Okay. Madam Clerk, do we have speakers from?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, we have 4 speakers in person and 1 remote. I'll begin by calling them. John Acosta, followed by Norma Toothman, followed by Jorge Balvanera.
I believe the city attorney just confirming to you all there is no transparency. When council member Preciado sent an email, it was not distributed to you all to talk about it, see it, and study it, and learn. That way, if you have questions, yes or no. So therefore, there's no transparency. And one of the things I think this whole issue about events is because the mayor didn't want to play along with Luna's that Councilmember Fernandez approved. So I think that they're so upset now they're going to go like hyenas after the mayor, and there's only one way to capture to control hyenas: capture and there's no transparency. By the way, in Sunsai, when next time you get interviewed by the press, tell them you got suspended. So make sure whenever you go and cry and beg somebody to interview you, you include the phrase that you suspended. And suspended for being a racist event at Mater Dei High School. So therefore, like I said, once again, I believe that council members are, upset because they don't go and play the game, and they're going to go after for everything after you. They're going to go like hyenas after you. Anything you say, any ideas, they're going to say no to you. And for example, Jose, Jose, he's been playing this a long time. He should have known better than to send the email when the meeting was in process. So therefore, maybe you got the email, but not the mayor. And I think there's no transparency. There is no transparency, and that's the biggest problem with you all. There's no transparency. I don't trust you. So maybe Rick, the one that just retired, he'll become a council member and replace maybe Insulza. He's the worst of them all. Like I say, anytime you talk to your press, tell them about the almost $10,000 phone bill that you did not pay. Tell them about the racist event that you had. Tell them, there's the press. It's on TV right now. So, tell them, keep smiling. Smile for the camera. Smile.
Our next speaker is Norma Toothman, followed by Jorge Balvanera, followed by Cindy D.
Good evening, Mayor, council members, and thank you for allowing me to speak on an issue central to effective governance, ensuring the mayor has full autonomy to decide when and where the state of the city is delivered, and the ability to run several city events through the mayor's office so the public can enjoy these events with little or no cost to the taxpayers. The State of the City address is not just another ceremonial event. It is the mayor's single most important annual opportunity to communicate directly with residents, outline priorities, report on progress, highlight what the city has to offer, and set a tone for the years ahead. Because of its significance, the mayor must have the flexibility to choose the time, place, and format that best supports transparency, accessibility, and meaningful public engagement, and events such as El Grito and the Starlight Parade. First and foremost, The mayor's job is to be the face of the city. Chula Vista is responsible for providing information to the public, shaping and setting policy, and ensuring that our tax dollars are being spent on necessary items. For that reason, the mayor is uniquely positioned to determine the most appropriate moment to deliver a comprehensive update. Second, locals and the mayor should meet to choose a venue that reflects the message and priorities. Allowing the mayor to select a location ensures the address is not just informational, but meaningful, rooted in the lived of the same people that the city serves. Third, in relation to the other events that are currently under the mayor's office, the staff within the office are primarily responsible for many of the events, including El Grito and the Starlight Parade, and many others. Adding a new department and hiring additional personnel to run these events will now increase the expenses to the general fund, costing the taxpayers millions of dollars each year. Continuing what has been the practice for a multitude of decades is not about giving the mayor power. It's about enabling responsibility. The mayor is accountable for the content of the state of the city, and it is only logical that they also have control over the conditions under which that message is delivered. This approach strengthens transparency, improves public engagement, and upholds the integrity of our local government. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Our next speaker is Jorge Balvanera, followed by Cindy D., followed by Delia Dominguez Cervantes.
Thank you for having me here and giving me some moments to speak with you. This is the first time I actually speak at a meeting like this. Your jobs are hard. I recognize that. You guys each work in an area that has conflicting interests, but those conflicts are invitations for you guys to engage in healthy debate. And sending an email during a meeting is not healthy debate. It's not healthy discussion. What we're hearing here today is a common theme of lack of trust, lack of confidence, lack of transparency. And I say that to you not as a criticism. I say that to you as an invitation to give really good thought on how you guys work together, because it's not working. Mr. Nsunza, you said at the beginning of this meeting tonight, I think we were talking about the traffic signs. Little things matter. Absolutely, I wholeheartedly agree with you. Mayor McCann, you have done a phenomenal job on showcasing the city of Chula Vista and putting it on the map. Chula Vista has not always been regarded as a great city, and it is now. I'm proud to be a Chula Vistan. Taking away his ability to showcase our city is not in our betterment. I don't see it as an attack on John McCann. I see it as an attack on the people. Little things matter. El Grito, something that we as Mexicans, Mexican Americans, are so proud of our culture. And to take away how we celebrate that, that's a horrible thought. Little things matter. It lends itself to how we celebrate, how we come together. How you guys conduct meetings, set policies. We heard about other discussions that have been had that include studies. Ms. Toothman, you spoke very eloquently about shifting costs. Has there been a study on what it will cost us to shift this or to adopt this policy? I haven't. So I hope you don't take this message as criticism, but more as an invitation to rethink your positions on how you engage with the community and how you affect the community with your decisions. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Cindy D., followed by Delia Dominguez Cervantes.
So I wrote 30 seconds of words to you. And
I thought I was being mean and untrue a little bit, just exaggerating the truth. And then we find out that there's emails that are not given to them prior to something as important as this. Here's my words. Pile of snakes in the grass. Why do I have to come and babysit the council? You have a job to do, I have a job to do, why can't you just stick to business? You already have this city in a tizzy. Stop the shenanigans and stick to the course of city business. Every time we turn around, the council is trying to pull the wool over our eyes. Stop it, stop clowning around. Mayor John McCann has grown the city into a great place to live and play. Why on earth would you want to change that?
The next speaker is Delia Dominguez Cervantes.
Good evening, Mayor, Deputy Mayor, council persons. There's a lot of you, city attorney and city manager, staff. What's happening here today really has a very, very strong resemblance to what was happening with the rushed job of trying to change the charter. That's what it appears like to us. What's happening behind your closed doors and your offices, only you know. But to us, we matter. We're the ones that vote for you to be there. It looks rushed to us. And of course, it looks very personal. If we could just stop that, get over that who doesn't like who and who doesn't like whoever and whatever is going on here. If we could just ask you all to back up for a bit here, do this right, evaluate, look at the impacts, share with us, because from this view looking over there, it looks all about just making the mayor have zero say on that council. And he was elected by the whole city, guys. You guys were only elected by your districts. He was elected by the whole city. Like it or not, that's just the way it is. There's no impact analysis presented. Rush job. They had to do something to present something. There's no impact analysis as to who's going to do what now. Or is this a job we're just creating to make a point? We really expect more of our representatives, and I would hope that you guys could live up to it. And not getting information to the mayor, and I'm assuming because I didn't see any nodding from our city council persons, they didn't get that email either. So it wasn't isolated to one person. But the point where you're making decisions, not having all the information, unless you're already predisposed to making a certain vote, and you don't have all the information. We should have all the information. We are your voters. Thank you.
That concludes our in-person speakers, and we do have one speaker by phone. Robert, you are now unmuted. Please proceed with your comments.
Thank you so much, City Clerk. How we doing, people? Still going? Good. Let's point out what I said earlier. Charles holds community meetings and then doesn't even put it on the calendar, doesn't even invite constituents. You know, I could go across the board with all of them, to be honest with you. The mayor holds coffee with the mayor, doesn't put it on the city calendar. Michael Nzunza, I don't even think you hold meetings. Cesar Fernandez, I love your last flyer. I love it. Lemon Fest is hosted by Cesar Fernandez, District 4 Deputy Mayor, right? It's hosted by you, right? So in the deception of everybody, right? Is that not deceiving people to say that Lemon Fest is hosted by Cesar Fernandez, Deputy? I mean, you know, he holds paperwork back all the time at this point. Let's talk about charter review. You held back that paperwork till yesterday and then put it up. we've been waiting to see the memo go to them to see it reflect the changes, yet there's no reflected memo. I love one of the lines in there, though. We'll get to that one at the Charter Review Commission tomorrow. In case you guys didn't know, they're going to Charter Review Commission with the item everybody cared about. So please, everybody go to Charter Commission tomorrow. Yeah, there's so much things you guys are lacking at this point. And transparency is the key to, like, bring in the community. I thought you guys would have got that by now with all of my audit publishing your guys' content from the public, hence not calendar, even though it's in the due diligence of your position that you're holding this meeting, right? No accountability there, right? No, but you want to tell the mayor what to do. Like, come on, you guys. Look at yourselves. Look at the audience. They're smiling right now because they know it's all true, okay? The buildup would have been everybody self-correcting and doing better. But instead, I come here with reports to say how I'm still the one that's pointing out to when they put up an event or not. Or I'm the one that's going, why isn't this on there? You know? But you guys are in a position that you could easily just request it to communications to put it on there, and you guys go, no, I'm not going to invite the community because this is my event. And he does events, so he doesn't advertise. Everybody just uses that same excuse as if when the public's here listening, that excuse matters, right? No, it's called change, okay? And I've been trying to influence you guys to do it yourselves, but I guess maybe we need a policy that makes you to do it, right? As you're acting upon your business, you need to tell the public and inform the public through city channels, or else you're doing it on not for the city, obviously. You're not doing it for us.
Your time has concluded.
Chavez. Yeah, but I'm not muted, so I'll continue. All right.
Mayor, that concludes our speakers on this item.
Thank you very much. I will now recognize the city attorney.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. I just want to clarify one thing regarding the memo you received this afternoon. So under the draft policy, there includes a public purpose requirement. So if you refer to page 3 of that policy, it states, consistent with California law, city funds, staff time, and resources may be committed to a special event under this policy only where a valid public purpose exists. And so what my memo does is it goes in a little bit more detail about what a public purpose consists of. And so that was the purpose of the memo. I apologize you didn't get it before the meeting. However, the intent was really just to go into more depth about what a public purpose is, but the overarching conclusion is included within your materials, and that is the intent, that a public purpose, or the requirement that there be a public purpose for all events using city resources. So just wanted to clarify that. The memo does go into a little bit more detail, and that was mainly for future reference. I didn't think that was necessary for your deliberation tonight. However, I apologize that you didn't get it before this meeting. Thank you.
I will recognize the member from District 3.
I want to acknowledge the city manager for her leadership, careful work and direct involvement in reviewing the council referrals and developing the revised special events policy. I also appreciate the work of city staff and everyone who contributed to creating a clear and more consistent framework for all city support events. I want to be clear with the public to understand a few things. Nothing is going to change. The mayor is still the voice of the city. He is still going to run with the city manager's office and our events office that does events. He's still going to present the state of the city. It doesn't mean the city council is going to go behind him and also speak. Nothing's going to change. El Grito will still happen. The Starlight Parade, Harbor Fest, Lemon Fest, every single event that the city's been working on will continue. In fact, the purpose of doing this is making them better and much bigger. And the role of the mayor is not going to change. Just because an elected official goes on the morning show of any newscast or goes in front of any camera or microphone and says something does not mean it's true. And I'm not just talking about tonight's issue. Everything we're discussing today and the common theory of law of the public speakers was transparency. Am I correct? That's exactly what we're doing tonight. So let me explain to you how this works and what's happening. There are members of different elected bodies in different cities that receive tens of thousands of dollars of campaign contributions from vendors and contractors that do work with cities. And sometimes those elected officials also ask those vendors and contractors who make dollars off of us, asking them for money. We're talking about asking for money for their campaigns and then asking them to support city events. Those are called behested payments. That's what this is about. And then third, awarding, maybe within a 2-3 month period after we had a parade or any major event, and then awarding these vendors or contractors in money that will benefit those companies in the millions of dollars sometimes. What we're doing today is trying to make the effort to clean that up for the public. This is exactly what everyone is discussing. This is about transparency. The only thing that is changing, according to the city manager's referral or presentation, based on what everyone collectively asked of the city manager, is that the city manager's office and with our events office, whose job is to run events, will now lead the effort and coordinate with the mayor and the state of the city. If that state of the city is at the Olympic Training Center again, if that's at the Gaylord, wonderful. The mayor is the voice of the city. He should be leading the state of the city. None of that is changing, ladies and gentlemen. None of it. Don't let the information get to you. Don't let anyone try to convince you that we're doing nothing at all, but ensuring that the city manager's office and our special events office is the key department that is coordinating all these events. The city council is not involved. That's what this is about. So I'm glad I was afforded the opportunity to explain to the public that no events are changing and the mayor is still the head of the state of the city and has all the things afforded to him. None of that will change. With that, I move to approve item 8.3, adopt the revised and renamed special events policy 102-07, approve the city manager's recommendations concerning all related council referrals, and adopt the resolution and all associated actions as presented in the policy and staff report.
You have a second.
Thank you. I'm going to make some comments. I find it interesting, again, suddenly people seem to change their position on things when the public comes out. But the reality is I'm here to represent the citizens of Chula Vista. That's my goal. I'm not here about little petty items or things like that. And, you know, I think somebody at one of the other items talked about that in the past, Chula Vista didn't have the best reputation. And that's incredibly true. I remember being on several commissions, starting in the 90s, from the Housing Commission to the Planning Commission. And we were not always considered the nicest city. I still remember when I was working up in Sereno Valley, people would ask me where I lived, and I'd say Chula Vista, and I still remember this one, vice president going, ooh, like it was like a bad place, like I lived in the ghetto or something. And, but then when I would invite people down from North County, they would just be shocked to see how nice Chula Vista was on the west side and the east side. And as a council member then, beginning in 2002, it really took decades to be able to build the foundation to make Chula Vista an economic engine, but also create the incredible communities. As I say, the Gaylord Resort project was our 22-year overnight success story. We started planning that in 2003. We weren't able to actually open it till 2025. And so over the long of me being involved in the city of Chula Vista, it was always a team effort. And believe me, I worked with other council members, mayors. We didn't always agree on everything, but we were civil, and we focused on the greater good, and we focused on what the most important things were in the community. And when I still remember the days when we were looking at the Gaylord, there were times when we thought that deal was going to fall through multiple times. But we were all united together because it was about Chula Vista. It wasn't about somebody's little petty project or somebody's, because they didn't get enough attention, things like that. And so we have built an incredible bayfront. As I say, this is Chula Vista's decade. We opened the Gaylord Resort Hotel, which is just amazing. I still remember calling people, trying to get them interested in looking at Chula Vista, being here, doing things in Chula Vista, and people wouldn't even return my phone calls. Now I get people calling me because of the Gaylord Resort. On the eastern communities, for 10 years in a row, East Lake Community was the #1 new home community in the entire county. Incredible opportunity for people to understand how Chula Vista is just incredible. When I became mayor in 2022, there were many things that we had done prior, like the Starlight Parade, like the Harbor Fest, that had fallen by the wayside. And they had fallen by the wayside because of finances. And the city couldn't necessarily afford to be able to do them. Also, I really felt that we had a El Grito program, but it was pretty small. And I felt that we needed to elevate that El Grito event into something incredibly important to our community and to be able to have it as a major event in the city of Chula Vista. And at that time, we're still reeling for coming after COVID. And I still remember talking about bringing Starlight Parade back. And it was always that one of those funny things where everybody'd sort of give me that, oh yeah, go ahead and do Starlight. But by the way, we have no money for it. And, good luck. And I still remember people almost literally sort of giving me that smile of like being that it was just not going to actually happen. And so one of the things is I really care about our tax dollars. And when you're looking at these events, we want to make sure that we have donations that go directly to the city and be able to specifically fund and our earmarks to be able to do these events. And so with Starlight, we were able to raise a good sum of money to be able to have it happen. And I still have a lot of fun because there were a lot of people who were sitting there going, okay, yeah, you'll do Starlight maybe in a couple years, things like that. And then suddenly we got that momentum, and I still know that there were somebody here who said, oh my God, McCann's going to make it happen. We better get on board. And we thought that maybe, there'd be about 10,000 people, maybe 15,000 people that would show up. But if anybody ever grew up in Chula Vista, you knew what the Starlight Parade was. And you had either gone to it or had some reason to be in it, like I did when I was in elementary school in the safety patrol. And so we were able to make it happen. But if we had not gone out and been able to get charitable donations to the city, Starlight would have never happened again. And the great thing about it was we expected, maybe 10, 15, 20,000 people. We had over 50,000 people. People were so excited to have Starlight Parade come back because it was part of our history. It was part of our childhood, many people. It was part of our family and our neighborhoods. And so, yes, we had to go out and be able to make sure that we had Starlight Parade do it, and we had to be able to raise money and not use taxpayer money to make it happen. El Grito was very, very similar also. The El Grito before was sort of out on the library deck, and I remember that I think one time I went to it and maybe there were 20, 30 people there, and I thought we could do better than that. I think that our community deserves much more. I think our city deserves much more. And that mentality I saw so many times when I grew up in the city of Chula Vista. Everybody sort of thought, well, Chula Vista isn't that nice. And I would go, no, we're incredibly exceptional. And we need to be the regional leader. We need to be the economic engine. And we need to show that we are a destination. And so what we did was, again, went out so many of the different community members, got everybody to get on board, created all these stakeholders, be able to raise money, have a credible, quality El Grito celebration. And yes, the mayor's office led that charge. And frankly, we did coordinate with the city manager's office, but the reality is we drove it. And we drove it for many reasons. One, we had to be able to raise the money to make it happen, so we weren't using taxpayer dollars. We had to go ahead and understand the city manager was doing a lot of different things, and we didn't want to overburden them because they're running the day-to-day operations with the city. And so we have all these different events. I support tremendously all the events. I think that we have begun, when we talk about fiscal responsibility, it isn't just like an overnight thing. We had to sacrifice, we had to be fiscally responsible for decades so that we could be one of the few cities in the entire state of California that has a balanced budget, fully funded reserves, no cuts in services, and no layoffs. And I love our other cities, but when you're looking at National City with an $18 million deficit, when you're looking at San Diego with literally over $100 million deficit, when you're looking at the county, you're looking at all these other cities. And the reason why we aren't in free fall is because we have put that foundation and we have made those tough choices. And one of the things we've done, again, is that we've gone and worked with our community stakeholders to make sure that these events didn't happen with just taxpayer money. If the city assumes the responsibility of producing and coordinating all the different events, 25 to 35 events, it will require significant and additional staff time, resources, and funds. And look at this. The preliminary estimate would be the events team at the city would probably need about 3 to 4 full-time employees. Now, I just want to give a shout out to Daniel. Daniel has done such a great job, but the idea that suddenly he's going to be put on all these other events, he's going to need help. Just somebody here, somebody there, but actual people who would be, their full-time job would be able to do that. And if you were to hire those people, it would be approximately $500,000 annually in personnel expenses alone. And that's only the beginning. The city would also incur recurring costs for outside event production, equipment, permitting and logistics, marketing, technology, administrative support, security, vendor services, contingency expenses. These costs could exceed $1.6 million annually and potentially approach $2 million every year. And this is not administrative efficiency. This is the creation of a significant new recurring obligation for the city taxpayers. And the financial cost is only part of the issue. We also have to consider the burden this would be placed on already strained city staff. Coordinating dozens of events requiring extensive planning, contracting, permitting, vendor coordination, sponsorship, development, marketing, community outreach, logistics, promotion, production, and management. The city has been very blessed to have my staff, which I think have done an incredible job. My chief of staff, Amanda, my other team members have been there. And there's a reason why, again, we have taken on a couple of those events. And specifically, they weren't happening specifically because they wouldn't happen without money, and specifically because we were saving taxpayers money and being able to create those successful events. I believe that, again, we have the ability to continue to move forward with the current way that we do things. I think we can go ahead and put down that certain events are civic events and things like that. But the reality is this cuts out the mayor and the mayor's office from being able to lead some of these events. And I know that I've already talked to many people who donate, and they believe that some of this stuff that has been happening on the council and behested an audit and everything, they almost feel like it's created a chilling effect. And they're concerned about donating to the city, because when they're donating to the city for a charitable donation to put on an event, they're doing it in the best interest of our community. And if you are donating to help do the Beautify Chula Vista, or you're donating to help put on Starlight suddenly unethical or very challenging. So when you're looking at the state of the city was paid for pretty much 100% by outside donations. When you're looking at the Starlight Parade, when you're looking at El Grito, it's a substantial amount of outside donations. And it saves the city literally hundreds of thousands of dollars, not only in actual taxpayer funds, but city staff time. So I'm not going to support this because I think, again, when you really read it and look at the way it's drafted, it's not there to be able to get to the next level in being able to make sure that we're doing events better, making sure that we're being more cost effective. It is trying to, again, make it so you're cutting people out and not allowing the people who should be able to do the events in the best way that they can to be able to get them out. So I will now recognize the member from District 4.
I wasn't going to speak, but after 10 minutes of framing the discussion as people are not going to donate anymore or we're saving taxpayer money, I feel I need to help get some things cleared up here. First off, the staff report says that there is no fiscal impact. What's the reasoning behind that?
At this time, we don't anticipate the need to add any staff in order to implement these changes.
Okay. And so I'm curious about why that is, but I think I have an idea. If you looked at the previous agenda item and you saw the history of donations, behested payments, and the money that the city has contributed, it's quite a bit. These events have grown. Do these events require outside coordination, consultants?
For some of the events, we do have, we work with contractors for those events, yes.
Specifically the larger ones like Starlight Parade, for instance.
Starlight Parade, Harbor Fest,
okay.
things like that, yes.
Okay. And let's get another thing straight here. Donations versus behested payments. Both of them are okay as long as they are documented properly. Donation, you all get it. Somebody donates out of the kindness of their heart. Behested payment is when one of us goes to that company and says, I'm asking you for money for this event. It's a great event. You're going to get a big sponsorship. You're going to get recognized as contributing to the city in a positive way. Nothing wrong with that, as long as that's documented properly. So when I talk to some of these larger companies, I don't hear an issue with them wanting to give that. I don't hear the framing that this is going to cause a chilling effect. Now, I don't know, I want to ask you, are you going to continue to ask for these payments so that or are you going to stop asking? I mean, that's your decision there. But after hearing the conversation, I feel very strong in my resolve and my position on this. So I'm going to call for the question.
No study.
Would you
Madam
like
Clerk,
me to?
please read the heading.
This is item 8.3, resolution of the City Council of the City of Chula Vista revising and renaming Council Policy 102-07, City of Chula Vista Special Events Policy.
Item passes with 3 members voting for, the mayor voting against, and a member Preciado absent.
Mr. Mayor, if I may, we are trying to avert a disconnection of our phone line. If you might entertain a short recess so that we can address the technology issues and keep us running.
So you're wanting a almost perfect timing for another break.
Thank you.
Okay. We will go ahead. How long do you think it'll take to reconnect?
I'm not quite sure. I hope that it's quick, less than 10 minutes, I would think.
Okay. Why don't we go ahead and take a quick break? If everybody can stay close so we can reconvene the council meeting and finish off the council meeting. Thank you.
2. Testing 1.
I didn't see anything happen when you did that. It gave a pop-up and then it looked like you clicked no or something. So do you want to do that?
Oh, yeah, because it would, because it would do feedback. Test 1, 2. You can hear me?
Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3.
Test 1 2, test 1 2.
Testing, testing.
Start the council meeting. The technical difficulties have been corrected, and I apologize for anybody who was waiting. We will now go on to public comments. Do we have any more public comments from public speakers?
No, we've heard all the general public comments. We do have a couple of public comments on the items that are left.
Okay. Let's go to the city manager's report. I know we have 10-1 communications update for the Chula Vista City Cast.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'm just waiting for the city's Chief Communications Officer, John Sahomsky, to join me up here. He'll be doing a brief presentation. Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. Just waiting for the slide. And there we go. Well, I am just a week and a half ago, we launched the city's first podcast, Chula Vista CityCast. And the QR code is up there on the screen if you haven't subscribed and you'd like to see episode number 1. And that first episode provides an overview of Parks and Rec, and it also gives an update on the work being done at Hilltop and Eucalyptus Parks. Chula Vista CityCast will take listeners behind the scenes of city operations, highlight events and community stories, and break down projects and programs that matter to our residents. The podcast is housed on the city's YouTube channel, and it's also available on all major podcast platforms, such as Apple Podcasts, and we are excited to bring this new communications channel to the residents of Chula Vista through social media and media relations. Channel 10 did an excellent on it. It was a 4-minute story. It ran multiple, and we also have over 500 streaming YouTube channel, 50 downloads of the podcast, and count. Excited with the reception so far and looking forward to doing the subsequent episodes. And in closing, we'll play just the first minute of the first episode. And if you want to hear the rest, you can subscribe and listen to it at your leisure. So just press play.
Welcome to Chula Vista CityCast, your in-depth, bi-monthly look at the people, services, and stories shaping our community. Each episode will take you behind the scenes of city operations, talk with local leaders, share public safety tips, highlight events and community stories, and break down the projects and programs that matter to you. Thanks for joining us as we bring you closer to your city, one conversation at a time. This month's episode, Parks for the People, looks at not only what Parks and Rec provides for our community, but also what goes into maintaining and restoring our city's park, the ongoing work at Hilltop and Eucalyptus Parks. Our guests include Luis Shar, Chula Vista's Director of Engineering, and Frank Carson, Director of Parks and Recreation.
That's good. Thank you. Subscribe. Next month, we're going to look at emergencies and safety services, and we're also going to shoot a short video about the renovation work going on at Hilltop Park and getting that information out there for the public. So, thank you. Okay.
City Manager?
That concludes my report this evening. Thank you.
Wow, that's great.
Mr. Mayor?
We have, yes.
Pardon the interruption. We do have one speaker on this item, if you'd like us to proceed with calling
Yes, I'd
them.
love to hear the speaker.
Robert, you are unmuted. Please proceed with your comments.
Can you push it?
Hello?
We can hear you.
You can hear me? Because it just said I was
Yes.
muted, so it's weird. Thank you. In my much appreciation for the city to do more outreach in having these videos, I sought to give a little criticism because of the opportunity that the people on the city cast will be hacked directly to the public. And so I had told Frank that he, in my opinion, missed a opportunity to invite people to the Parks and Rec Commission. And so in an abundance of caution, I've been going around to each of the commissions and telling them that when staff is given this opportunity, they should take that to remind people that the same things that are said on the majority of it on the city cast are said in the Parks and Recs meeting, or at least for that example of the episode. Though I appreciate them trying to continue to work on a video of the update to Hilltop Park, there's a lot of departments that deserve, time to spread whatever's coming. And you guys already went over Hilltop Park in that episode, so I don't know why you would double down on thing when you say we're spelling them to remind them their voice heard. Like a one-way staff likes to talk at us, right? That's how I look at this podcast. You talk at us, but you're not giving. You told them, oh, they can go on the website and see the updates here. They can go here, do that. Well, why did you leave out the meeting? Why do you leave out that opportunity to further do it? And so I think in the scripting of stuff, you should definitely take that into consideration when reaching out to department heads. Like, hey, remind them, in case you didn't have this, we have like a list of every time you jump on our cast, you should, promote your events, promote this, promote the commission, promote the, should be on local issues, and it happens in the moment, like live. And so I just encourage the communications director, the new guy, whoever in that department, realistically, to reach out to the public more with that information, and that further future episodes have those requirements to it. $20,000 is a lot of money, and I want to see my money.
Your time has concluded.
Okay.
I'll keep going, though.
No, thank you, Robert. Now we're going to move on to the mayor's report. I have several items we're going to be doing. It would be consideration for the voting delegate and alternate for the 2026 League of Cities Annual Conference. I will be attending. Will anybody else from the council be attending?
I cannot attend due to a conflict.
Okay. Unless I'm missing it, we need to, if nobody else is, the motion that can I have a second? We have a motion and a second to have the mayor be the voting delegate for the 2026 League of Cities Annual Conference. Madam Clerk, if you could please read the heading.
This is appointment of Mayor McCann as the voting delegate for the 2026 League of California Cities Annual Conference.
Please vote. Item carries unanimously with Member Preciado absent. On item 11.2, we have the reappointments for first terms and reappointments for second terms for boards and commissions. Do we have any speakers on this item, Madam Clerk?
No, we don't have any speakers on this item.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and make a motion to approve the reappointment. Have a second? Have a motion and a second. Madam Clerk, if you read the heading.
Mr. Mayor, would you like me to read into the reappointments to first terms? Guillermo Castillo, Juan Guerrero for Health, Wellness, and Aging Commission, Rodriguez for Parks and Recreation Commission. To second terms, Leslie Hurst, Board of Ethics, Toby Larson, Board of Library Trustees, Victor Lopez, Charter Review Commission, Kate Bishop, Cultural Arts Commission, Marisol Edwin, Health, Wellness, and Aging Commission, Peter Carlson, Housing and Homelessness Advisory Commission, Carla Pacheco, Housing and Homelessness Advisory, Paula Witzel, Housing and Homelessness Advisory Commission, Leticia Lares Uquieres for the Human Relations Commission, Rodrigo Leal for the Planning Commission, Patty Ruiz, Privacy Technology Advisory Commission, Tim DeMarco, Traffic Safety Commission, Veterans Advisory Commission.
Thank you. Please vote. Item carries 4-0 with Member Preciado absent. We'll now move on to item 11.3. These are boards and commission new appointments, appointments. I will move for 11.3. I have a motion and a second. Madam Clerk, if you can please read the heading.
This is ratification of appointments of the following individuals: Carla Tuffer to the Board of Appeals and Advisors, Sandra Castro-Kane to the Civil Service Commission, Omar Armas to the Cultural Arts Commission, Lisa Brandon to the Cultural Arts Commission, Roselle Ellison to the Cultural Arts Commission, Chris Finch to the Cultural Arts Commission, Manuel Vera to the Cultural Arts Commission, Deepa Kurup to the Health, Wellness, and Aging Commission, Isaiah Diamond to the Housing and Homelessness Advisory Commission, Juliet Montoya Cesena to the Housing and Homelessness Advisory Commission, Eric Nava to the Measure A Citizens Oversight Committee, Jay Okamoto to the Measure P Citizens Oversight Committee, Jan Budding to the Parks and Recreation Commission, and Christopher Worth to the Parks and Recreation Commission.
Please vote. Item passes 4-0 with Member Preciado absent. I want to thank my fellow council members for getting those approved. We have many people who are volunteering on these boards and commissions, and they do a tremendous job in making sure that we get them appointed on time, and support them helps make sure that our Chula Vista City works incredibly well and make sure that we're supporting our volunteers. Now I'm going to talk about a council referral. Currently in California is one of the few states, 3 states, minors to marry. There is no minimum age requirement for marriage under California law. This can leave young people in extremely vulnerable situations. Minors who enter into marriage can face significant barriers when trying to leave that marriage because they may not have to rely on a parent or guardian to assist with certain legal proceedings. I'm seeking council consensus to bring back an item for the council position in support of Assembly Bill 1267, authorized by Assemblymember Gail Pellerin. This bill would establish a minimum age of 18 to be married in California. The goal is simple: to help end child marriage and prevent Californians from being placed into marriages before they are adults and able to make that decision for themselves. I look forward to getting support. Do I have council consensus? I have council consensus. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I want to thank everybody. And there were so many great things that were happening. We had the Pacific Coast Builders Conference where I spoke along with Councilmember Chavez about how Chula Vista's role is the gateway to the Cali Baja mega region, and why our city is so uniquely positioned for future generations of growth and for individuals to come here to live and thrive. We held our 54th annual Boards and Commissions reception to recognize and thank many of the volunteers who dedicate their time and services to our cities, as well as we also thanked and made sure that our staff liaisons, who do a tremendous job for our boards and commissions, were thanked as well. I attended the ribbon cutting for the Element by Marriott, as well as the Friar Tuck's ribbon cutting. Both were incredibly successful events, and the Element is going to be an incredible place if you need to bring people in from out of town to be able to stay there. And just another high-quality hotel that we've brought in, and we estimate that their revenue through their TOT tax will bring in potentially dollars a year, and so we're excited about that. I was able to attend the Coffee with a Cop, and we had that at the Hot Works in Millennia, and it was really, obviously our police force was out there, just such relationships I could see building between our community and our police force, but also Hot Works for them going ahead and hosting the event. If you like hot yoga, it's a great place to go, and the owner there is just incredible. So want to thank them again for hosting. I attended the Chula Vista Lifestyle Mixer, which is a magazine, and we had the opportunity to bring people together. It's a great local publication that highlights positive businesses, positive individuals in the community. I attended the Chula Vista Elks Lodge, which celebrated 70 years. So this was its 70th anniversary. And I was honored to join the recognizing many years. The land that they're on actually owned by decades and decades of nationals. And so he sort of gave them a deal to be able to buy the land in Chula Vista. And at that time, it was on the end of Chula Vista. And it's amazing to see if that was the end of Chula Vista, and now it's probably in the center. So Elks Club, just a quality organization. I attended the San Diego Rescue Mission's annual Mayor Symposium, where I provided an update on Chula Vista and addressing homelessness, as well as worked with the other mayors and other nonprofits and seeing how that we could make sure that we're working together on addressing homelessness. As we know, homelessness is a regional issue, and to be able to work together with other nonprofits helps make sure that we are bringing the homeless count down and not just having another city push homeless into another city, because homeless individuals are migratory, and we need to continue to strengthen and work together with the other cities. Our police department had its annual National Night Out, and I want to thank Chief Peak and all the police officers, and especially Sarah Camacho and her team on the hard work. And I was could do something special for Sarah, but she already went to the Padre game and threw out the first pitch, so it was an incredible event for her. But it was amazing to see every year it seems to get bigger and bigger. I was there 15 years ago when we did the original National Night Out, and it's gone from having the booze at the top at the police station to then on the F Street, and now they're taking up the other parking lot, and I just see it keep growing. And but I think if they continue to have Tacos El Gordo be the food sponsor for folks, be there. I was a speaker at the Benita Kiwanis and care about our community and a great opportunity to talk about what's going on. And I want to congratulate the Bonita Optimist Club on their 50th anniversary. I was honored to celebrate their milestone with them. And again, another organization that's so neat. Optimist Club, it has such a great name because that's what it is. They talk about things positively. They help youngsters. They help the community, and they are there to be a positive, optimistic force in the community. I want to remind everybody, the Lemon Festival is this Saturday, August 15th, from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. in downtown Chula Vista. Our streets are transformed as we celebrate the history and remember that Chula Vista was once known as the lemon capital of the world. And I know Robert is listening out there. So yes, we are working as a city together to promote Lemon Festival, but technically the event is run by the Downtown Business Association. So they are the lead on the Lemon Festival. And finally, I want to take a moment to wish my beautiful wife, Missy, a very happy anniversary. We have been married 28 years, and together we have built a beautiful family. We have 4 children and now 2 grandchildren, including a new grandbaby who was recently joined our family about a month ago, and she's amazing. You know, it's always one of those things where when you raise kids and everything, you got to get up and they cry at night. I'm just so amazed because daughter, she least fussy baby. She doesn't cry. She's just so happy. So I'm excited about my daughter. She's not having to get up as much as we used to have to get up. So I'm just really excited about that. And Missy, you make me the happiest man in the world. I am incredibly lucky to have found such a strong and loving person, an amazing woman to share my life with. I love you, honey. Happy anniversary. Thank you. We'll now go to council comments. We'll start with council member from District 1.
Thank you, Mayor. So as you heard earlier, we had a meeting at Fire Station 6 with regarding the East Lake self-storage facilities and regarding St. Germain, which hopefully it remained clear and the community remained calm, addressing the issues of St. Germain entrance that was now excluded from the project, and they had the opportunity to talk to the developer. And I also want to thank everyone from Fire Station 6, as well as Chief Monroe, for all the planning and everything that went into it. And just to give them a brief explanation of brush fire and what we do in the east side, because people just see a firefighter and they want to ask about everything, and he's kind enough to be able to answer their questions. I also attended a neighborhood watch meeting, and yes, a big shout out to Sara Camacho and Officer Jackson. They are awesome. This was at the Antigua community in East Lake, where Chula Vista PD presented on how residents can start a neighborhood watch and stay vigilant for one another. It was great and a great opportunity to connect with neighbors, hear their concerns, and talk about how we can work together for a safer community. And yes, I had the opportunity with the mayor, a few members, San Diego Regional Chamber of Commerce, to be on a panel with Next Horizon Building Industry Association at the Gaylord facility. And we just talk about regional construction, international, what we were seeing in housing and what we were seeing in the future for Chula Vista. And that was a really great conversation. I also had the opportunity to tour the Vogue Theater on 3rd Avenue. I love to see a process where
the community has input on the future use of this space. Ideally, something that brings people together and further activities in the area. I feel that it's important that we conserve the beauty of the theater, the existing theater, just seeing the magnitude of it all inside the facility. I can't help but be hopeful that we can have a project that brings a little bit of the old school feel that and the beauty that it houses. So moving forward, I would love to see how the community can have some input on what we can expect in the future. And a big shout out to my friend Michelle Angadalua, the owner of Hot Works. I used to go religiously at night until, I got sick. Because, you have, it's really hot. You do it in a sauna. It's great detox. I really recommend it if you haven't gone to Hot Works. And I have no report from Sandag because we are dark in August. So thank you.
Next member would be the member from District 3.
I appreciate the council giving me consensus 2 weeks ago through my work on community power and my advocacy. So I'm going to read off the resolution that the whole council was sent. Item 12.1, the energy affordability, transparency, and grid accountability. Item 12.1 is fundamentally about affordability, transparency, and accountability for the people we represent. Families and small businesses are being asked to absorb increasingly high energy costs. They deserve changes justified that our energy system is operating efficiently and that the critical grid projects are moving forward without any unnecessary delay. This resolution supports 3 practical state measures. Senate Bill 1138 would provide limited flexibility in meeting resource adequacy requirements, while Assembly Bill 1761 would require greater data, assumptions, forecasts, and methods used to calculate the power charge and difference adjustment. Assembly Bill 2493 would strengthen accountability for transmission and interconnect, independently examining delayed required approved projects to enter the permitting process in a timely manner. These bills will not solve every energy challenge overnight, and we should not promise an immediate reduction on anyone's utility bill. But they address 3 areas where government can and should demand better performance: controlling avoidable costs, opening the books, and delivering critical infrastructure on time. This resolution sends a clear message on behalf of Chula Vista residents. Energy policy must serve ratepayers, operate transparently, and produce measurable results. I respectfully ask for my colleagues' support. I move to 1761 and Assembly Bill 2493, the governor to enact these measures in support of energy affordability, transparency, reliability, and grid accountability.
We have a motion and a second. Madam Clerk, if you could please read the heading.
Mayor, we do have 2 remote speakers on this item, if you'd like us to proceed with calling them.
Yes, please.
Our first speaker is Robert. Robert, you are unmuted with your comments.
Thank you very much, City Clerk. I just wonder, is this actually for the people? Let me read off from a agenda that was on June 23rd, 2026. This is San Diego Community Power Community Advisory Committee. And in that meeting, they discussed item number 13, San Diego Community Power Data Center Load Integration Guidelines. Recommendation, receive, file, provide feedback on the Data Center Load Integration Guidelines, a working framework to guide San Diego Community Power's engagement with data centers. Electrical loads defined as high density, non-interruptible, near consistent electric load, typically 20 plus megawatts, requiring dedicated long-term capacity planning. And so, my question is, why don't we have non-interruptible power? Why is the contract always to screw the people who are paying the bills, but the data centers get non-interruptible power? Are you actually looking out for the people, or are you just looking out to build these data centers, which are going to then cause brownouts or whatever it is, and then it doesn't protect us? It only protects the data center, right? And so I never heard you tell anyone about this. Yet you claim to be our head for the San Diego Community Power. When I come here with transparency, I expect you to listen and then tell the people about it. But nobody likes to answer questions. How dare you question our leadership? How dare you? You know what I mean? Like the best part is the meeting, but he jumped in on the Instagram as if I couldn't see him jump in. So let's just go for all transparency. This is what you guys wanted, right? You guys want someone who knows what they're talking about to hold you on it. Oh, Fernandez, I love how you changed that image during the meeting to not say hosted by, as if that was going to remove the copy I have. I mean, I'm having a great night. I hope all of you are too. God bless America. God bless the American citizens, and deport more illegals. Come on, city attorney, you ain't gonna tell me I'm off topic.
You have 30 seconds remaining.
City clerk, just a quick review of the system right now. Tonight when we did the second public comments and we came back, I didn't receive a text message telling me that the public comment was happening. And I'm trying to give you as much information as I can within my stuck time. So thank you.
Our next speaker is Serena. Serena, you are unmuted. Please feel free to proceed with your comments.
Thank you. Hi, good evening. This is Serena Polka from Climate Action Campaign, where we're working towards an affordable, 100% clean and reliable energy future. And we're calling in tonight in strong support of this item and the bills being considered. So firstly, I wanted to say thank you so much to Councilmember for bringing this consideration forward. We see that as families across the region and in Chula Vista struggle under not just the high cost of living, but specifically skyrocketing energy bills, it's essential that we continue to prioritize solutions and harness our power in Sacramento. SDG&E makes nearly $1 billion a year in profit, with very few consequences from state regulators, while a quarter of our neighbors are behind on their energy bills, making hard decisions between putting food on the table or keeping their lights on. And many folks right now during these heat waves are going without air conditioning simply because they cannot afford to run it, even if they have it. So it's important that we use our voice and influence to tell the state that enough is enough and our communities need relief. These three bills, as you all heard, they chip away at this rigged system that really prioritizes profit over people. Solutions in these bills include increasing transparency required from the utilities, adding more independent watchdogs to oversee big SDG&E projects, and push for cheaper solutions instead of costly build-outs that really get passed on to hardworking families in our region on our bills. And this legislation supports energy provider San Diego Community Power to buy power more flexibly so that we as customers and ratepayers don't pay higher costs. So the impact that our region and cities can have when local leadership like you all use our power in Sacramento. Just want to say thank you. We encourage you to support this, and thank you for letting Chula Vista families know that you're fighting for them and continuing the momentum to bring clean, affordable energy to families here. Thank you.
Mayor, that concludes our speakers on this item.
Madam Clerk, if you could please read the heading.
Yes, this is item 12.1, resolution of the City Council of the City of Chula Vista supporting Senate Bill 1138, Assembly Bill 1761, and Assembly Bill 2493 to promote energy affordability, ratepayer transparency, and electric grid accountability.
Please vote. Item carries 4 0 with Member Preciado absent. I will now give it back to the member from District 3.
I want to follow up with a city council referral. I would like to request a brief status update regarding the city council referral that was made more than 3 months ago to the city attorney and the Chula Vista Police Department concerning an alleged domestic violent incident involving a member of the city council. I want to be very clear that I am not asking that the investigation be expedited in any way. I respect the independence of that process, and I want investigators to take whatever time is reasonably necessary to conduct a thorough review. I would appreciate clarification on the status of the investigation, as these are serious allegations, and I do not believe it is in anyone's interest for them to remain unresolved. I would appreciate an update confirming the current status, whether the information and leads provided in connection with the referral are being appropriately followed up on, and if possible, whether there's an anticipated time frame for completion. If these questions cannot be answered publicly, I would ask the city attorney and police department to advise the city council through the appropriate channels regarding the status of the referral.
At this time, I'd invite Chief Peak to see if he has any update on this.
Thank you, Mr. City Attorney. Thank you, Chief Peak.
Good evening, Mayor, City Council, City Attorney, and City Manager. Yes, this referral was given to the Police Department in May of 2026. It has been under investigation since the referral was given to the Police Department. The investigation is coming to an end. I anticipate a completed report to the City Manager's office in the next couple of weeks.
Perfect. Okay. Good. That's fair enough. Thank you, Chief.
All right. Thank you.
I appreciate you very much. And lastly, incredible news that just happened in the last 5 minutes. Oh no! In that case, you know what? I'm going to defer. I'm going to defer. Me and Councilmember Fernandez are big sports enthusiasts, and we're educators that support sports. So I yield my comments.
Well, that was going to be my first question for the member from District 4. What's the score? So you're up now.
So to join in with Councilmember Nzuna's enthusiasm and those of us who love youth baseball, Sweetwater Valley Little League won 6-0 over Hawaii to take the West region.
Wow.
They will move on to Williamsport, and congratulations to the whole team, especially the pitcher, Isaac Ramirez. He pitched a complete game shutout. Wow. So that's a pretty amazing feat, especially over Hawaii, who always fields a superb team. So congratulations, Sweetwater Valley.
The next game is this Friday.
Yes.
Championship game this Friday. No Tie Ranch, 3-1.
Close it down. Close it down again.
So my question would be, and not to get too granular, will the pitcher, because he pitched so many pitches, have to stay out of the next game now?
You know what? I forget the rules for 12U, but I believe that he's had enough rest if it's on Friday. He's not going to pitch? No. Okay, he's out. Thanks. You were watching the game, weren't you, Detective? Maybe. I saw you with your phone propped up watching something. So. All right.
Okay.
Were you done, though?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So just some quick thank yous to Castle Park Elementary for inviting me to their resource night on Thursday. It was actually their very first one. It was very small, but I was pleased to see some of our city departments there, specifically our police department, our fire department, and I'm grateful for the new leadership over there at Castle Park Elementary. Looking forward to more collaboration to help bring resources and services to those students and families. Of course, I want to thank CVPD and the Foundation for hosting National Night Out. I really appreciate how you all go the extra mile to showcase all the departments and the people that help keep our city safe, and the cool equipment that you guys use. I'd like to thank also the Tobacco Free Coalition of San Diego County. for inviting me to present certificates of recognition for some of our student advocates, specifically Isabel Alvarado, Andres Lopez, Josie Mercado, they're from Chula Vista High School, and Aaron Malacara from Otay Ranch High School. I want to thank them for speaking up for young people in our community and reminding us what youth leadership and voice can look like. Some upcoming events that I'll be at and looking forward to, Harborside Elementary will have their back-to-school resource fair on Thursday. That's from 4:30 to 6. And of course, Harbor Fest has returned. One of the first requests that I had of the city manager and our special events coordinator, Daniel, was to bring this back, but they had already had that in mind and worked out. I really appreciate their foresight in bringing that amazing event back. Looking forward to the Lucha Libre in the parking lot and some good music. August 22nd. Thank you so much. Everyone have a good night.
Thank you. City Clerk?
I have no report this evening. Thank you.
Thank you. And then on when we had a technology break, and check my email to double check, and I had not received an email from you, any of your attorneys, and I have not received that memo. And then I will go ahead and pass it over to you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I am forwarding it once again. It was sent at 5:28 p.m. today, but I will resend it to your email address. And there's no further report tonight. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Okay. Well, I want to thank everybody. We've got, I think, had a very productive meeting today, and we will go ahead and adjourn to the next council meeting, August 8, 5 p.m. here in these council chambers. Thank you. Councilmember. So Caesar, do the